Hi everyone, welcome to another all-new Outhouse episode reviews. My name is Nate, alongside is my good friend Omid. How you doing, sir?
What is up, loud crowded Casa crew? How y'all doing? And yeah, we're just getting started. We're just continuing on with these episodes, and man, we got some eventful episodes we're going to talk about.
I feel like they're putting up a lot more Loud House episodes recently. Just putting continuously, just giving us more episodes for us to review, and that's what we always do every week until they stop doing it. Then we have to get more things to talk about, I guess.
Yeah, it's like keep coming, especially after Casa Grandes is ending. Yeah, we definitely need the Loud House to continue on, at least for a good amount of time.
Right. Well, let's see how these four new episodes that we're going to be reviewing are going to be. But obviously, let's start it off with our weekly checkup that we always do before we get into our episode reviews. So, Mead, so how has your week been ever since D23 and all?
It's been actually pretty chill. I'm just like kind of like relaxing, taking it easy a bit when I'm not at work. Like the past weekend, I've been like playing Splatoon 3. It's a really awesome game. I've been playing online. I've been playing online with a couple of friends of mine, and of course, I've been playing Smash Online with these set friends of mine. So yeah, it was pretty much a chill week and of Splatoon overall.
So that was it, just Splatoon.
Splatoon plus Smash and all that stuff. Just basically staying and playing video games.
Okay, all right, that's your weekend, so that's cool. Ever since D23 came back, I had to catch up with my friends as well. So one of my friends had a birthday, so we went to San Francisco, checked out what she wanted to do. We went to the Aquarium of the Bay, which was a smaller aquarium compared to Aquarium of the Pacific. So it was obviously a little less exciting, but at the same time, seeing all the fishies and stuff was also pretty nice. Visiting Pier 39, also a little bit of Japantown because when we went to Japantown, it's already closing. So it's like, oh wow, okay, we're just gonna go get dinner. So we'll grab dinner, and then after that, we just went back to our BART station, headed home from there. So there's that on Saturday, and then on Sunday, watched some football games, and a bad weekend for football games, I would say. So
Oh, don't remind
yeah,
me.
I mean, I'm so
Zero
sorry,
three,
but you're
0-3. Are you kidding me? I
I
can't
mean, you're
even.
terrible. You're terrible at your picks, so that's why I'm about to get your money now.
It's not that I'm terrible. It's just my luck is terrible.
Yeah, your luck is terrible for some reason. Like you went 0-3 and you got eliminated. So that means I only have one loss. There's a possible chance I'll probably get that pot of money that's currently over in our group pick'em page. But there's that. There's also our teams losing too. Raiders lost also, and
I know. Well,
Niners
you at
lost as
least
well.
you at least have one win. I don't have. I have like zero, man.
Yeah,
It's
I'm
all
wondering what's
bad.
going on with your team, considering you have zero wins.
It is all bad, man. Also, on a side note, did you by any chance find Nemo and Dory while
There's
you
a
went to the
lot, dude.
aquarium?
There's a. Do we always do that now? Like every time we go to aquarium, you always have to like find Nemo and Dory.
Yes,
Maybe in your maybe in your case, I wanted to
that's the
see
ultimate goal. That's the
maybe in
goal
your
here.
case, I wanted to see sharks. I just wanted to see sharks and
You
all
want to
the
see
other fishes
Bruce. You want to see
and
Bruce.
and the jellyfish. It's really nice to look at those stuff instead of the Nemo things. But yeah, we saw Nemo characters too.
Awesome. Yeah. Happy birthday to your friend, by the way.
Oh yeah, thank you. Yeah, I hope I think she appreciates it for sure. All right.
Oh,
Yeah, not much to talk about with our weekly checkup, besides work and stuff we did over the weekend. Plus, our football team is really sucking. So let's actually move on ahead and go straight to our episode reviews. And let's start it off with the first episode that came out on the 9th of September called Sheer Pressure. Synopsis here says the cheerleaders challenge Lynn and her teammates to a cheer off where Lynn dismisses them as athletes. So the episode would begin with both athletes and basketball players practicing while Coach Keck huddles them up and tells them that there's a real kangaroo who'll be accompanying them on the way to Hazeltucky for their upcoming game. Now they pretty much have a bet on them, considering that according to Coach Keck, it's either the cheerleaders or the basketball team will have to ride with the real kangaroo, and obviously none of them want to do that. So what Lynn wanted to do was actually go for a cheer off, which is kind of interesting considering that they're cheerleaders and Lynn and the rest of the team are basketball players. So what are your thoughts on this little conflict here, knowing that Lynn just challenged cheerleaders to a cheer off?
Honestly, I really like this conflict. It's actually an interesting take on this sort of like it's sort of feud. It's sort of this feud between like arguing over which group of people involved in sports is like stronger, which then technically are the better athletes per se. Is it the basketball players themselves who work their butts off and sweat their butts off to perform the best they can, or is it the cheerleaders who do the exact same but in different styles?
It's just more towards like cheerleading does have their own way of practicing because they have their own way of like practicing with the cheers, considering that they do like pyramids and they have a lot of prep and they do all of these formations and stuff. So they actually are athletes as well, compared to like obviously Lynn's team, which obviously is full of basketball players and they also play the sport as well. So both have different ways of becoming like athletes to say, and it kind of sucks considering how Coach Keck is literally putting one of these teams into the. I don't understand why Coach Keck would actually want to put one of these teams into the back of the back of the trailer with there's a kangaroo in there.
And plus, doesn't the bus technically have enough space, like enough room for like all of them, like the cheerleaders, athlete, the basketball players, and Coach Beck and Coach Keck and her Monsieur Hans? Like, isn't
Oh
that
yeah, it's
technically like
Hans.
school?
Yeah,
Yeah, technically, doesn't the school bus already have like room for all of them to fit into the bus? Besides the kangaroo who's in the trailer.
I don't know. I don't know why they want to put. I don't know why Coach Keck wants to put one of these teams into the back of into that little trailer with the kangaroo is. So it's like, I don't know. Is this some sort of thing where they do in school? I don't. It's really interesting. I don't know what happened here. So now Lynn decides to make some bet with the cheerleaders that if Lynn and her friends can out cheer the cheerleaders, then the players can take the bus and the cheerleaders suffer the fate of sitting with a kangaroo. So what are your thoughts on this bet and how do you think it will go?
Honestly, since of course this is going to be first time where Lynn and her friends do practice cheerleading for the first time. Of course, they got a long way to go before they can even come close to outmatching these cheerleaders who have a lot more expertise. They have a lot more, they have a lot more moves. They have a lot more spirit in the cheerleading. So honestly, like no disrespect to Lynn and her friends, but honestly, unless you could somehow pull off a miracle or hours and hours and hours of actual cheerleading training, yeah, it's going to be tough to beat.
I'm not gonna lie though, it was kind of interesting to see how they actually got out of their like comfort zone to say, considering that Lynn is more of an athlete, and then for her to actually become a cheerleader is definitely a brand new story for like everybody. I'm like, do you expect Lynn to actually become a cheerleader? Do you expect Paula or Margot to actually become cheerleaders? Like they definitely are so different compared to what they do in basketball. Yes, they're a team too, but it's totally different compared to what cheerleading is, considering that they're a team as well and heads up, those girls that are cheerleaders right there, they know how to do their like formations already. So it tells me that they have had their cheerleading before. So when Lynn actually like bets on the fact that they would like out cheer compared to the other cheerleaders, it's like good luck with that, considering that they actually have practice compared to what you guys are gonna go.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like, since the cheerleaders have a lot more experience with cheerleading, like I said before, Lynn and her friends, they got a long way to go before they can come close.
Okay, so the thing here is that you get to see Lynn, Margot, and Paula cheerlead. Do you think they actually can pull it off when you first heard that they're going to be cheerleading?
Like I said before, it's a good effort from them on the part. It's a good effort to like try something that's out of their comfort zone. But at the same time, though, for all the reasons I just stated, I would not bet a single cent on Lynn and her friends winning. Like,
I'll be the one person to say like, hey, I would love to see if Lynn besides sports actually goes and cheerleads because it'd be pretty cool to actually see her do something like very girly and out of the ordinary compared to how she is as a tomboy playing sports and all.
That is true. That is true. That's why I really dug this episode like already because you do see how Lynn and her friends embrace their feminine side when they actually do attempt to do cheerleading. So this is actually an interesting take for them.
Right. So Lynn and Margot start practicing cheerleading, but unfortunately, it doesn't go well. I mean, Lynn accidentally throws her friends off, considering how strong she is. Um, and then there are other things as well, like apparently, was it reading Lucy's cheer poem that actually became a spell? And of course, when the three of them do the pyramid, they collapse within 5 seconds. So look, there's a lot of sequences for them to practice, and apparently, they're all failing at them. What are your thoughts on all three of them, considering that? Yeah, they're not really good cheerleaders to say.
Yeah, honestly, like I said before, again, good effort on the part for at least trying to do the cheerleading. But like I said before, it's not like they're gonna immediately master it just like that. No. And honestly, this is probably the same theme like what the original cheerleaders went through as well. When they did cheerleading for the first time, I bet you anything, they were in this exact position where they didn't know what to do themselves either before they worked their butts off and practice cheerleading as hard as they can. Same thing with this one. With this one, cheerleading, Lynn Loud seems to have underestimated how much hard work, power, and sweat cheerleading actually takes.
It's not like strength or cheer or prep that actually works with it. So when she actually started throwing those girls up, obviously her strength is the one that actually makes them throw up, and they're not didn't work out in the end. Yeah, because they all collapsed over into Mr. Grouse's yard, and that was like a really hilarious scene, by the way.
I know, Mr. Krause.
Oh,
I
and he
love that.
actually broke his, I forgot his, my sciatica, which is not a real thing. Thanks, Carl Casagrande.
Oh man, I remember that.
I love that little reference, by the way. It said like my sciatica. I'm like, sciatica. Wait. Did Carl say that? My sciatica is not a it's not a real thing in your body.
I
Yeah.
yeah. It must be a callback to the Casa Grandes.
Which I
You know,
thought pretty cool.
coincidentally, an episode that takes place like oh no wait that was 2 weeks before. Never mind. I was about to say 2 weeks before the Casa Grandes ends. What a coincidence that this line would be brought up.
Hmm. And then they also get to see like them doing like a cheer, like they always have like they have the routines, but they also do have their sayings. They always say like "Go team, go," that kind of stuff. But then when they actually got like Lucy's poem, it turned out to be like a spell. And then I love the fact that like, look, you're gonna go through your sister's spells. You're obviously gonna have something like Haunty, so I'm not surprised that they end up being like floated in the air for some reason.
Yeah, look at that. Look at that. It's Lucy Spell really did some well, I mean, it really did pretty much uplift Lynn and her friends, but not necessarily their spirits. They actually uplifted their physical beings.
And I don't understand like how the girls end up becoming like pyramids to say, but I understand like they always do have this whole pyramid formation where like somebody's going to be on the top, and they actually do have like Lynn and Paula be the one to actually carry Margot up to the top. But apparently Margot's also afraid of heights, I believe, because she's like very unstable on the top and everything. So in the end, when they tried to like balance her, she ends up crashing down into the garage, and that was actually pretty funny. Um, yeah, that was actually pretty funny.
Yeah, look at that. You could pretty much see Marco's entire body. You could see pretty much see Marco's entire like body right here. So
Hmm. Yeah, she's not. Yeah, they're not good to say the least. Like
body shape. I was about to say body shape right there.
yeah. So the girls are pretty much like not good at cheerleading to say. Yeah, they pretty much put themselves on a bet that they will probably not win, but apparently some hope came for them because um when they are down in the dumps, Cheryl and Meryl will actually show up, and they offer a hand to be their cheer coaches. So it's weird considering that when they were young, they actually were cheerleaders themselves. So they teach Lynn and her friends the three pillars of cheerleading and everything. So pretty much, Cheryl and Meryl became their coaches. Well, what are your thoughts on actually having, out of all people, Cheryl and Meryl to help them out when it comes to their cheerleading practice?
I like the fact that they got to use more of Cheryl and Meryl, but I feel like this is one of those episodes in which they use their characters effectively. they actually use Cheryl and Meryl as mentors to Lynn and her friends to help with the cheerleading. Also, it's really cool how they were pretty much co-cheer captains, and they even had their own names like the Split Sisters. That really just goes to show you that even way back when, they're still as close to sisters as they could be. So I like that they have a long history of sisterhood, of sister love and stuff.
I think they just are. Well, then again, they're like twin sisters, so they would love to do other things. I mean, besides watching their favorite soap opera, they will also do other
Yeah,
things that we didn't expect about. And I love the fact that they actually revealed something in the past where it's like, okay, they're not just secretaries; they're actually more of what I was saying, assistants towards the principal. They actually are more towards actually doing some awesome stuff in the past. Which, to be fair, it kind of makes me think like maybe have another flashback episode where we get to see these sisters actually cheerleading and all. I want to see like
I
how that became to be, you know.
I actually kind of like to see that. It's actually really interesting. So I like the fact that they expanded upon Cheryl and Meryl's characters, and it shows that they are more than just secretaries, and they are more than just Southern hospitality fangirls.
Yeah. They're not just all about Sauter's hospitality. They're more than that, guys. And look, I understand they keep on popping up a lot, especially like recently where we get to see like them as twins face off with Lola and Lana, for example, in that one episode. But now we actually get to see them a whole lot more. So if anything, these secondary characters are having more of an important role when it comes to the Loud House now. So hey, more Cheryl and Meryl if we can, because I'm actually liking like how their story arcs are going, like how they're being implemented in the show now.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I want to see more Cheryl and Meryl in this kind of role.
So now their big thing right here is that they're gonna explain the three pillars of cheerleading, and we're gonna explain them right now. So the first thing that they do is that the first pillar that they go through is strength, which is have the trio throw heavy bags of horse manure up and down, and it turned out they all work. So considering that they're all really strong, doing all that action. What were your thoughts of that? Considering that they're just throwing like manure up and down and all.
Yeah, honestly, as I was watching the scene, I'm thinking to myself, okay, they better not drop it. They better use all their strength because let me tell you, when you drop that house maneuver, whoo boy.
I mean, it is pretty much stinky poop from like animals, you know.
Yeah, it definitely makes Lily's dirty diapers smell like perfume by comparison.
I find it really interesting. I mean, like Lynn is a very strong girl, but then you also get to see Paula and Margot also like lift up those bags as well. So it tells you like all they're doing is just throwing it up and down, which is true considering that if you're a cheerleader, you also throw people up and down. You even have to like raise them up to make that pyramid to say. I feel like that was a good practice for them to, um, get them strong to say.
Yeah, of course they would of course they would honestly pull this off in flying colors because, well, at the end of the day, these three girls are sports athletes, and sports athletes, what's required of them is to pretty much build is really good of physical strength, like top tier physical strength, like kind of like how you lift weights, um, you build up your muscles, that sort of thing. So it's not really surprising that they would pull this off in an instant.
And then of course their big risk is obviously dropping it. But to be fair, they actually did end up, getting what was it? They ended up actually impressing both Cheryl and Meryl, so that's great. But at the same time, still you want to break that back because yeah, you definitely stink up the place.
Yeah, Lynn, you kind of messed up right there. Okay, there's a difference between a bag of house manure and a football. I'm just saying.
Yeah, it
Lynn,
doesn't
you
bounce. It
messed up
doesn't
right
bounce. It
there.
just cracks open like that. So yeah, good job, Lynn.
Yeah.
Then they also talk about spirit, and the trio pretty much cheers on everybody in the grocery market. And it all starts with Cheryl and Meryl actually cheering with one of the people who are working in the grocery store. Then you actually get to see Lynn, Margot, and Paula also do the same thing as well. So how do you like the rhymes that they were bringing up for everybody who's like in the grocery store?
I really do. I really do like how they somehow managed to pull off creative rhymes and all that stuff. Like, of course, it's more of a challenge. Of course, this particular challenge is much more of a challenge for them than the strength test. But here, I really do like how they come up with names to cheer for both the grocery store customers, such as Mr. Grouse, and also Dan, who works at the grocery store as well. Yeah, I do like how they show their spirit by doing a chant.
It's weird considering that I don't know, I don't see them really being so happy like that. And it just feels like all the trio is definitely looking to be like cheer buddies to say it all works out considering how they all rhyming with Mr. Grouse and rhyming with like all the other coworkers that were working in the grocery store. So to say the least, it makes them happy. I mean, that's good to hear that with the cheers and all, they actually make the people happy and all.
Yeah, definitely. I like how like they actually managed to work how they managed to lift up the spirits of Mr. Grouse and Dan. You could tell that they're really happy with the cheers being given towards them. So you could tell they've done a good job here.
Oh yeah, most definitely. I can't wait. They definitely did a great job with that. Then, of course, the last one pillar that Cheryl and Meryl showed them was teamwork, where they have to actually cooperate. Where Lynn and Paula have to catch Margot that was falling from the sky. And in the end, they actually do end up doing it, considering how Lynn and Paula were able to actually catch Margot. So it tells you that this team is working really properly, and it just in the end, it feels like they're a good. They look like a good group to say. What are your thoughts
Yeah,
on them? What are your thoughts on that?
much like the strength test with the house manure, it doesn't really surprise me that Lynn and Paula work together to actually catch Margot. Like, sure, they show off teamwork in different ways. Like, of course, they're in the same sports teams. So, of course, basketball, for example, they use teamwork in order to win their games. So, I do like how they managed to show off their teamwork aspect to Cheryl and Meryl by showing that Lynn and Margot do teamwork for more than just sports.
Which is great considering that, it's just weird how Cheryl and Meryl, out of all people, would actually help them out and become really good cheerleaders. And in the end, from all the practices that they were able to get from Cheryl and Meryl, they look to become really awesome cheerleaders. Now, the one thing that they got to do now is to pretty much dress up like cheerleaders. And what better way to do it than literally just a tank top and a dress, which unfortunately the girls don't like. uh, but they look cute. I mean, to be fair, they look pretty cute to say. I mean, let's give it that. And the other thing too is like it makes sense why they have to wear these considering I don't think you want to wear them. I don't think you could actually do really good prep. I mean, it's a really good spirit and prep with like basketball uniforms on.
Yeah, honestly, when I looked at this, of course, they would be hesitant the first minute that they lay their eyes on that outfit. But of course, I do like the fact that later on, when they actually arrive at the gymnasium for this cheer off, they actually grow to like it. They actually grow to like what they wear, especially Lynn, who says that she likes the breeze of it. Uh,
Look, it's like
well,
there's like literally I don't know. I can't explain it.
Now, for my thoughts, like honestly, I gotta say, they look nice. They really do look nice in their cheerleading uniforms, and it gives fan artists material to work with.
Oh
So
God, I
there you
could just
go.
totally see a lot of fan artists already drawing cheerleader Lynn. Like I see too many of them, by the way. And by the way, y'all doing a great job with that. By the way, keep on doing what you're doing. But
Oh yeah, like honestly, I'm seeing fan art for these girls in their uniforms, especially Lynn.
especially
And
Lynn. And I'm like,
yeah,
where's Margot? Where's Paula? Can we get some of that too?
yeah, they all done a good job. And also at the same time, it's not surprising that I've stumbled upon many of them on Twitter.
They look great, by the way. I mean, I believe they actually were pretty cute with their cheerleader uniform on. It's better than whatever they were wearing with their basketball uniforms before.
I think
So,
so too.
so now it comes to the whole routine. Lynn, Margot, and Paula would go first, and they would do their cheerleading routine, and the crowd will love them. So let's start off with their cheerleading routine. Omi, your thoughts on how they did when it comes to their cheerleading routine.
It was a nice, cute little cheerleading routine. Honestly, of course, you really do show. It really does show here that, of course, they listened to all the training from Cheryl and Meryl. They heeded their advice, and of course, you could tell that there was genuine good effort put into this cheerleading routine. And honestly, I'm really proud of all three of them for actually really pulling it off quite well.
I think, I mean, to say the least, I won't be explanatory when it comes to this cheerleading routine. It is pretty short, but to be fair, knowing the fact that these girls actually were able to actually be in sync and actually get the pull off the routine properly and all that kind of jazz, it tells me that they were really fast learners, and the fact that Cheryl and Meryl were actually very helpful with these girls to, cheerlead and all this stuff. I think they did a really good routine, and I'm with the crowd too. They were definitely cheering for them. They definitely pulled off a really awesome routine.
I think so too. Yeah. Major props to them.
Yeah, so I'm sorry I couldn't be able to actually pull up the whole like scene here, but just imagine what they were doing when they were cheerleading. Okay, so now it comes to the other girls' turn, who are also who they were the cheerleaders themselves, and of course they would out cheer Lynn and her friends with flying colors. I mean, that was kind of no surprise there.
I
So
told
this
you.
would,
I told you.
yeah, so this would cause Lynn to concede and apologize for putting the cheerleaders down. So what are your thoughts on this scene here, where Lynn and her friends show humility in the scene, where she literally just admits, "You are definitely better. I can't believe how cheerleaders are always like really awesome athletes and stuff."
I really do like it. Major respect to Lynn. Major respect to Lynn and her friends for coming forth and conceding and apologizing for pretty much looking down on the cheerleaders, because it really does show their humility, and it really does show how much Lynn has grown and developed as a character, where she pretty much tries, another activity that's outside of her realm. That's pretty much she pretty much tries out something that's out of her comfort zone. And of course, when they lose, of course they. I think, like, deep down in their minds, they expected to lose because obviously they have more experience than Lynn and her friends. So of course, I do like the fact how Lynn went forth to them, apologized to them, and say that cheerleaders are really good athletes after all, because she herself experienced doing cheerleading, and
Mhm.
she experienced how much work that took. So yeah, major props to Lynn for this moment.
Here's the thing that I kind of like about Lynn. She's not that sort of loser anymore, where she would like go for revenge or get angry the fact that she lost the competition or lost the bet to say. This one is just Lynn just literally just realizing that cheerleaders do have a lot of work too, besides what, Margot, Paula, and Lynn always do in basketball. So they have their own routines. And it's also the same kind of work compared to like the other sports like basketball or baseball, etc. So now Lynn understands that, look, it's just not all about prep and stuff. There's a lot of things that come with it when it comes to like formations and lifting up and showing the cheer spirit and everything. So now Lynn understands it, and I love how she just apologizes to them right in front of them, and she takes it to heart. Like, she doesn't actually like obviously get angry or anything like that. It's just great to actually see the fact that they took defeat like really well, not like in a really bad way or anything.
Yeah, it's really good to see. I agree.
So yeah, it turns out that it isn't Lynn's squad or the cheerleaders that are riding with the trailer with the kangaroo. Instead, it turned out to be none other than Coach Keck who was in the trailer, because
Good.
apparently the cheerleader's mom had Coach Keck put in the trailer when she found out about Coach Keck buying a masseuse, and bringing a kangaroo. So it was kind of like a blackmail sort of thing. It's like, oh, because we knew what you were doing with the school finances, that my mom, who knows Principal Ramirez, can be able to tell on you and probably get you fired. So in the end, it turned out Jenna's mom. It turns out Jenna would actually make a bargaining agreement, and apparently Coach Keck and that masseuse would end up being in that back of the trailer with the kangaroo, and the rest of the girls would actually end up being in the bus. How did you like this whole ending here?
Yeah, this is something I like to call Kex karma. Like, you know what I mean? It's definitely karma for pretty much enabling this, stupid feud in the first place, and also messing with the school finances. Yeah, she brought this on herself, honestly. Yeah, honestly, yeah, this was a perfect ending to have like both groups of girls like all come together and bond and become friends, while you see Coach Keck and Hans like pretty much suffer at the hands of a kicking kangaroo.
I think she deserved it, considering how she was like a jerk throughout this whole episode. Did you feel like she was like, "Oh, I really want to see how these two compete. Good luck trying to get one of these kids. Good luck with that, considering that I'm going to put one of these groups back into the bus and back into that trailer and all." It just makes me feel like Coach Keck really wasn't a good coach at all. So it made sense why she would actually become that one person that would be punished in the end. It's like, yeah, karma got to you, girl.
Yeah, and honestly, it's sort of surprising to me because Coach Keck, like throughout her previous appearances, she never really had an antagonistic role. She had a strict attitude, yeah, sure, but she wasn't really, like mean or antagonistic like it
I
was
don't think
shown
she
here in
was
this episode.
mean. I mean, there were times where like she would, punish her students and stuff. For example, like in the one episode Middleman where, because Lincoln and Clyde messed up their video and then they had the whole students pretty much clean up and all. And then that's not more of like an antagonist role or anything. It's just more of her like, getting angry and pretty much blaming her students on this. But yeah, it's weird considering how she ended up getting an antagonist role here where she just says like I'm gonna put one of your groups in the back of a trailer with a kangaroo. Why don't you all settle it in a cheer off? That kind of thing.
And I was thinking to myself, no, Keck, why don't you go in the trailer with a kangaroo? Just saying,
at
right?
least in the end, I think it was just a very satisfying ending considering how mean she was and everything. So yeah, great, good job, girls. You all did your part. Anything else you want to bring up from this episode?
Nothing much I want to say other than the fact that this is definitely one of the better Lynn episodes for me, just by the fact that she does something outside of sports. She actually does something that's technically in the athletic realm, but this is where Lynn embraces her femininity by doing cheerleading. So it's nice to see Lynn doing more stuff like this, and also I want to see more of the cheerleading friends in more future episodes because I feel they have a potential to be an extra set of friends for Lynn. Like Lynn has her squad, like technically it's six now. If you count the basketball players, the athletes together, they're technically like a group of six, like how
Mm.
Lincoln squad is a group of six. So yeah.
We'll see. I mean, Lynn does have Maddie too, which, by the way, wasn't appearing in this episode, unfortunately. Um, but the other thing too is that we also get to see Margot and Paula. We haven't seen them in so long. I don't think we actually saw them ever in season 6, right? I don't think we did. So
Yeah,
this is the first
no.
time we actually get to see her.
Yeah, so I do like the fact that we got to see Marco and Paul again. Paul especially for me. So yeah.
I mean, it's been forever since I've seen those girls. And the other thing too is like I thought Margot was like not there anymore. We always get to see Paula a lot. Like she does other roles besides being Lynn's friend. She was also in like a football team. She was also the baseball team. But I don't see Margot and Paula that much. Margot and Maddie that much. So at least when I saw Margot, I was like, oh great, awesome! I get to see her again. And the fact that her original voice actress is also there too. So it's like, okay, cool. It looks like we never actually like she never left or anything. So great to see that. But of course, it'd be great to see Maddie too. If she was actually a team before, it would be great. But
Yeah, and honestly, like Paula, like going back to Paula, technically she does do much more things than sports athlete stuff. Technically, she was part of the stage crew in Flying Solo.
right, I
Also,
forgot about that too. But just letting you know, like, where's Margot? Where's Maddie? Can we get more of them? Because yeah, now we get to see a lot more things with them. So let's say, for example, if Lynn has another sports thing going on, can we get Margot, Maddie, and Paula again? Because that was the thing before back in season 5, season 6. So I mean, started back in season 5. So yeah, can we like get that rolling again? So yeah, and
yeah.
hopefully we get to see more Lynn sports episodes because this actually turned out to be a really good one. Especially the fact that like it's not about sports, it's all about cheerleading, and it's something that never really brought up to our attention. Like, did you actually see Lynn as a cheerleader? And from this episode, it just tells you, yeah, I could totally see that happen.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree.
So yeah, let's head over to our ratings. I mean, how would you rate Cheer Pressure?
I would rate sheer pressure. Um, I would rate sheer pressure an 8.5 or something, like 8.4 or 9, probably 9. I'm going to go somewhere and say 9. This was definitely one of the better Lynn episodes to me. Like I said before, I love the dynamic between Lynn, Margot, and Paula. They're a great trio of friends. Lynn OT3. I'm going to say it. Lynn Loud OT3. Let's go.
Oh dear.
And honestly, like I said before, the fact that she is doing something that is out of her comfort zone, she's trying something that she's trying an activity that she heavily looks down upon, but then upon experiencing doing that same activity herself, she actually manages to realize that cheerleading takes much more effort and muscle and activity than she actually thought. So, and of course, Cheryl and Meryl are at their A game in this episode. They actually managed to be really good mentors for the Lynn OT3. So I do like that. And the cheerleading friends are actually quite enjoyable to watch as well. Like they're not just your typical snooty rival characters. No, they actually that they don't like when their activity is being looked down upon. So of course they would be angry and annoyed with Lynn's antics and stuff.
I've pretty much got much to say, but the thing is that it's definitely a brand new thing for Lynn to do when it comes to cheerleading, and I definitely enjoyed every single minute of it. The fact that Lynn definitely is still her arrogant self, where she said like, "Oh, I want to bet you that I could cheerleader more than you," and of course, getting outbeaten by the cheerleaders definitely was a big defeat for Lynn. At the same time, you also get to see how Lynn just like apologizes and becomes a nice girl instead of a mean girl, and in the end, it just tells you how much humility that she ends up getting from being embarrassed by the cheerleaders and pretty much saying like, I'm so sorry. I understand how cheerleaders are. They definitely have a lot of work, and no doubt about it, it definitely shows considering how Margot, Paula, and Lynn end up like going through all of these routines with Cheryl and Meryl. But in the end, they still end up pulling off a really good routine. It just thinks that they couldn't be able to pull it off with the cheerleaders. But then again, they were cheerleaders. They have practiced this a whole lot before. So it's like, dude, you're dealing with the pros and you guys are beginners. Good luck with trying to actually out cheer them and all. But you know what? I'm proud for these girls. And I really hope we get to see them cheerlead again, because it definitely was cute to see them out of playing sports and actually seeing them do something else besides that. So definitely an awesome episode overall. I really love Lynn Jr. in this episode. So I give this a 9 out of 10. It definitely was amazing. It was great. Definitely was great to see Lynn like this. And I hope we get to see more of, like I said, Lynn in cheerleading outfits the same.
Yeah, I agree.
All right. Now let's head over to our next episode that also came out on the 9th, called Stroke of Luck. Synopsis here says, Lori becomes a celebrity at school when she hits a hole-in-one on a notoriously difficult course. By the way, now we go away from Royal Woods. Now let's talk about Lori in college. We finally have another Lori episode in college. And I finally get myself like the way of how Lori is going to be in college and everything. First off, Lori episode, yay. And then of course we also do get Lori being, well, I don't know. How would you explain this, considering that this, I believe is one of the episodes that we were looking for, Lori in a college setting and all?
Finally! Loud House, what took you so long? This is what we've been begging for. This is what we've been asking for months, for episodes, for seasons. Just Lori Loud living her Fairway University college life. No half-baked premises. No loud siblings interfering. No ghosts. Oh, God dang it.
Oh, God, please don't tell me about that.
Please.
Oh, God.
No more ghosts, especially. No, just a nice slice of life, calm, relaxed episode about Lori living her college life. So, I got to say this, Loud House writers, thank you. Thank you for finally giving us what we've been asking for.
I've been asking for this for so long, and I'm like, dude, let's have Lori just have an episode of Lori just settling into college and everything. We have not seen episodes like that where we get to see like Lincoln come into Royal Woods to help Lori in a ghost situation, where we get to see all the family try to help Lori out when it comes to failing grades. We also get to see like Lori. We also get to see Bobby come to visit Lori's college and try to fight. Try to face off against another sexy guy who thinks that he was stealing Lori and all. Look, it's good that we get those episodes, but come on, I want to see some Lori-esque episodes. Just Lori. I mean, I want to see her just be herself in college, just living her best life without any parental supervision or any like interference when it comes to the family and everything. I mean, to be fair, there was a family member that actually did interfere in this episode, but it's not as big compared to the other episodes we've seen where Lori keeps getting interfered with her family, keeps getting interfered with Bobby. Can we just have her play golf?
Exactly. Like, that's kind of the point of Lori moving to Fairway University. So it's like her living her life, her pursuing her goal, becoming a professional golfer, right? Like, honestly, I'm just like thinking to myself, okay, like what was the point of that, emotional scene in school where they do say goodbye to Lori, if at the end of the day, like, you're still gonna have the Loud family go see Lori much more often,
Nope.
anyways, you know what I mean?
You know, I'm
Like,
still waiting. I'm still waiting. Like I said, Loud House writers, can we have a spin-off of Lori in college? Remember? Did I propose that idea to you all? Because look, I understand we're gonna have a lot more Loud House episodes, and the thing is, like, you're gonna obviously focus on other sisters as well in Royal Woods, but you also are having Casa Grandes that are also going to be part of the Loud House. So it's like, how the hell are they going to make that all together in one Loud House show? So yes, can we have a spinoff? You already took one spinoff off. Can we take another? Can we have another spinoff where we
that's
actually
kind of
get
the
Lori in
thing.
college?
See, that's kind of the thing. That's what I want the Loud House to do. Take advantage of, like, its entire universe. Like, expand upon it. Like, expand upon the lore. All right. Like, you already got a Casa Grande spinoff, which takes place in Great Lake City. Why not go even further and expand upon the Loud House universe and have like a spinoff that is starring Lori in Fairway University? Instead of a completely pointless, unnecessary live action Loud House
Oh God.
series that what we're getting for some reason. Like, okay, I don't hate the idea. It's not the worst
It
live
got
action series we've gotten, Fairly Otter. But at the same time, though, I don't. It could go. It's one of those things that could go either way. It could turn out to be surprisingly good, or it could turn out to suck real bad.
I mean, I have my fingers crossed on this series. The Really Loud House looked to be, well, good considering. Look, they did successful with the Christmas episode, the Christmas movie, and to be fair, it is going to be a Christmas classic.
Uh,
It will be. Look, Nickelodeon's going to
like,
take advantage. I think it's going to take advantage of that Loud House Christmas, and obviously because of how successful it was for the ratings over at Nickelodeon Paramount Plus, they set it up to make a spin-off series. Like, obviously, I'm questionable about the idea as well, but what can you do? They've made it, and they're gonna put it in November, so we're gonna be reviewing those episodes too. By the way,
yeah,
oh, this is
honestly,
gonna be fun. We're
but
gonna review those episodes.
but honestly, please, okay, I am begging. Like, okay, here's to the Really Loud House live action series. Okay, if you can manage to somehow redeem live action Lincoln Loud and make him much more likable than what he was in the Loud House Christmas movie, okay, all's good, all's forgiven. We're cool.
Okay, let's not get off topic now here. But yeah, I mean, besides that, let's talk about Stroke of Luck, a Lori episode. Obviously, my Lori, which was amazing, awesome character and all. Now finally having her own episode in college. So let's get right to it and talk about this episode. So let's start off with Lori practicing her golf swings at Fairway U. And she manages to pull off a hole in one in every single course, aka the perfect 18, which no one, and I mean, it's a 1 in a billion chance to even have a perfect score, an 18 score. So impressive, obviously, for everybody out there who plays golf. And Omid, when you first saw that Lori ended up getting a perfect 18, what were your thoughts about that?
Yeah, honestly, I was kind of surprised by how perfect she managed to pull off every single hole in one. Like, even, okay, sure, she does practice often, but even with a lot of the practice that she does, and let me tell you, even that still seemed kind of a bit far fetched, kind of a bit impossible to do a hole in one every single hole. Okay, like not even Tiger Woods managed to come close to doing that.
Okay, when I first actually saw that, I'm like, look, I'm a golfer myself, and I'm like, how can you actually get a hole in one in a par three, par four, and par five course? I'm like, a par five course is like 400 yards. How the hell are you going to actually or 500 yards? How the heck are you gonna actually swing a driver that's 500 yards away?
Yeah,
Or
exactly.
in a par three, you can actually get a hole in one easily. To be fair, in a par four, you can get a hole in one easily if you can actually like hit it perfectly well and actually perfect like hit into the green and actually luckily make it into the hole. So when I saw this, I'm like, how the heck can Lori do it? It's a 1 in a billion chance. Like, you can never do that. I'm like, how do you do a perfect 18? Obviously, it's like surprising. It definitely
Like,
was very surprising.
I know what a lot of you are going to say this. Well, it's cartoon logic, it's cartoon physics.
Yeah.
But the thing is, though, okay, here's the thing. I get what you're saying, but here's the thing. That argument can only go so far.
Not in this case. I mean, like, yeah, okay, cool. Everybody can do that. I'm like, Well, then can you tell me if Bobby can actually make a perfect 18 too? In that case, it just tells me that Bobby can do it as well. So to
Yeah,
say the least, yeah.
honestly,
So
go ahead.
go ahead, you go ahead.
Yeah, so yeah, it actually turns out that Lori managed to somehow sink every single hole in one. Um, However, there is an explanation for that. We're gonna get to that later, but yeah, um, I'm just like, how did she manage to do that?
Yeah. Look, as a golfer in the back of my mind, I'm like, yeah, Laura, you couldn't pull this off. Has to be, there has to be some sort of suspicious thing going on here. What the heck? How the heck do you end up getting 18 in an 18 hole course?
Seems pretty
I mean, the
sus,
most, I mean,
Lori.
the, I mean, the most you can do is like 50 or, well, 30 or 40 in a course, not 18. That's impossible.
Hey, Lori, you're kind of sus. You're kind of sus.
It's very sus there. So yeah, she ends up getting the perfect 18, but there actually is a catch to it. Turns out the golf ball was actually branded by Lisa Loud Labs, which means there's some scientific twist to it. And when she actually calls up Lisa, it turned out that this ball that she was hitting was seeking flags. So whenever she hits it, the ball would actually like soar to a flag and just land there. So it just gives out the perfect vibe. It just gives up the perfect game because it's just looking for a flag in the course. It just looks for it, flies to it, and in the end, sinks into the hole, which pretty much makes a hole in one. What are your thoughts on this reveal here?
Yeah, honestly, I kind of knew something was up with Lori's perfect hole in ones. I kind of knew there was a sort of a catch to it. I kind of knew something was up, and it turns out we actually have the answer. We actually have the culprit, and it turns out that it was actually Lisa Loud's, flag attracting balls, like flag seeking balls. So that does explain why Lori has been scoring perfect holes. It's not because of perfect luck or anything like that. It's actually because the golf balls somehow managed to sink themselves in. So you could say Lori was cheating, but accidentally cheating.
No, she was accidentally cheating because the thing is, like, she didn't know that it was actually one of Lisa's balls. So in the end, she would have not had that perfect game. But to be fair, she ended up getting a perfect game, and I believe everybody was definitely taking advantage of her, considering that she's now becoming a celebrity now.
Yeah, and she does seem to like that celebrity style. And of course, like it's not Lori's fault. Like she didn't know that the golf ball was going to do that at first, so you can't really blame her for this. However, what she does later on, yeah, that is where I go, Lori, that's not your best move.
We'll see. And then I love this whole interaction here where Lisa and Lori were actually interacting with each other. I'm like, okay, cool. I thought it was just a Lori episode, but of course Lisa was involved with this the whole time. So obviously Lori had to call up with Lisa. And I just love this interaction here where you just get to see the girls just talk and Lori obviously talking about Lisa. Like, why did you send me these golf balls? Because I ended up becoming like a celebrity in my college now.
Yeah, I do love this interaction. Like you see them smiling, you see them talking to one another. It's just really sweet to see. I want to see more phone
Let's see
calls
more.
like
Well,
this.
you don't ever see Lori and Lisa interact like that to say. So it's cool to actually have like that whole close conversation where Lisa becomes like the reason why Lori ended up becoming such a celebrity now.
Yeah, it makes me want to. It makes me want an episode where Lisa actually does visit Lori in Fairway University. I know I said before that no, I don't want the Loud siblings to interfere with Lori's college life, but I can make an exception to this because I want to see more like Lori and Lisa bonding.
I definitely want to see that too. I mean, or like any other Loud sister besides like Lincoln or Leni to help Lori out in situations in college to say. But yeah. So Lori is being so here's the thing. After scoring that perfect 18, Lori is actually treated like a celebrity at Fairway U, and because of her perfect score in golfing, which causes Lori to feel guilty because she know it was a fluke. But at the same time, with all the pampering that Lori ends up getting in this, with the whole perfect hole and everything, it just makes you think Lori is definitely going to take advantage of this, isn't she?
Yeah.
Yeah. So look, it just starts to get to her where like she starts getting like escorts with a driver. She gets up getting some free merch which with her name on it. She ended up getting a massage in the college spa. and even gets her own ice cream as well. So to say the least, it's all looking good for her, knowing that with this perfect score that has an asterisk on it, she still ends up becoming this whole celebrity, and of course, Lori takes advantage of it. I mean, your thoughts on what's going on with Lori, knowing that she's definitely basking in the glory.
Yeah, honestly, or rather, basking in the Lori. Just kidding, just kidding. Anyway, back to this. So obviously, you know that Lori is not exactly going to tell them right from the get go, especially after getting all this good treatment, getting all this celebrity treatment. Like honestly, I'm thinking to myself, okay, I think anyone at that point would just wait a day later in order to tell them, like like sort of like take advantage of the day while you're at it, because let's be honest, with all the hard work, all the golfing she does, let me tell you, it's kind of needed for her.
Look, I feel like definitely the whole thing too is the fact that, like, with all of Fairway University actually just doing this to her, I can understand why Laurie's taking advantage of this, because it's like, oh cool, I end up getting a perfect game and everybody's treating me like I'm like a god to say. So I would obviously take advantage of what they're gonna do to me. I mean, like treat her like such a celebrity, where they give her so much stuff. What was it again? They gave her an ice cream by herself, which was perfect for her. What was it? Look. What was it? She ended up going to a spa date by her. Well, they ended up giving her like a free spa day, which what she really needed for sure, knowing that there was a lot of stuff that was on about it for her. And of course, you also get to see Lori get her own like stuff as well. So to be fair, if I was in Lori's shoes, I would do the same thing. I'm like, you know what? If y'all are treating me like this, I would definitely, take advantage of it.
And you're not the only one. I would, anyone would, especially when they're in college.
If they could actually do this to me in college, then I would love college more. But yeah, good for Lori, by the way. Yeah, they definitely were treating her like a celebrity. She's literally signing autographs, taking pictures, and all.
Yes, it's quite a glorious moment right there.
And then here's the thing too. And look, here's the thing. Like, even throughout this whole thing, she tries her best to like tell like Coach Niblick and all the students that, look, this ball was a fraud, etc., etc. It's just that they keep on giving her more and more stuff. So it's like, well, I can't tell you anymore because you're just gonna give me more free stuff. Then I will definitely be a part of. I would definitely hold on to that instead of you making me tell the truth and all.
Yeah, like honestly, like I said, anyone would just wait it out. Like, enjoy while it lasts.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I was feeling in Lori's shoes. Like, I would definitely wait it out and just hey, have fun with the celebrity day that I'm having here at Fairway University. So yeah, here's the thing. So she tries to tell the school and come clean with what happened, but then she starts having this nightmare situation about everyone blaming and hating on Lori, when they know the truth. So Lori decides not to tell them, because if she does, she gets chastised by the school, and then she gets called out upon by the coach to demonstrate a hole-in-one to the students watching her play. This causes her to get nervous. To say the least, yeah, Lori's in a predicament now, because the next day she ends up teaching a class on how to make a hole-in-one. No, so yeah, Lori is not doing great so far. What are your thoughts here? Where, like, if she continues to hide the truth, then it's going to bite her in the butt.
Yeah, this is honestly why I kind of have a problem with Lori not telling them, like, right there, right there. Like, okay, yesterday I could understand you were enjoying the celebrity life. Like, I understand you not telling them then, but now I think now would be a good time, because, like, I'm sure the Fairway University would understand that, and as long as you tell them that you accidentally cheated, like you didn't know that the ball was a fluke until Lisa told you in the video chat, I'm pretty sure that, okay, like at the most they would get upset with you for like half an hour to maybe an hour or two, and then of course I'm sure you'll work things out, and they will eventually forgive you. So that's kind of overthinking on Lori's part. That's kind of overthinking.
The thing is that when she was trying to tell the truth during those times when they all gave her all this stuff, if she told her then obviously the students would get angry. But even if she would tell then, it would have this nightmare situation where everybody just starts blaming Lori, and she's in a predicament where she's like, "Oh no, everyone hates you now because you pretty much tricked them for being from this whole hole-in-one gimmick and all." So yeah, I mean, the thing is that she wants to tell the truth, but the punishment is definitely going to be onto her, considering that nightmare scenario just pretty much says, "Oh, everyone's gonna hate you because they all thought you did this hole-in-one, and they gave you all this stuff, and they're gonna get angry at you." So what she planned to do was actually continue to hide it. And I'm like, okay, good luck with that. Especially the fact that she ended up going through a hole-in-one course and all. that turned out to not go well.
Yeah, but hey, like in her mind, like this is still better than her having to face the Lori Loud is over party crowd, or facing the, or it's better than her facing cancel culture like head on, like through her experience of being canceled.
Nah, I think like if she was going to explain the truth, she's going to explain it now, considering that considering the next couple of scenes we get to see, because how did she get this hole-in-one? Well, she had pretty much had Lisa's ball, remember? She had that ball that Lisa pretty much gave for her, and it pretty much was seeking all these like flags and all. Well, unfortunately, that ball is missing. Like she actually excuses herself to find Lisa's ball, but unfortunately to her, it's gone. She would go around to the school to search for it, even looking in a dumpster. Now her friend tells her that she sent the ball to this whole washing machine thing, and unfortunately, this whole washing machine little room here literally has all the golf balls. But luckily, she was able to find the golf ball, and then it got washed, and then the logo's gone. So it pretty much is a whole room of golf balls that could have been one of Lisa's balls, and in the end, it's not looking good for her. So your thoughts on these couple scenes here?
Yeah, honestly, when I looked at this, of course, right when she sees all these golf balls, I'm thinking to myself, yeah, the jig's kind of up for Lori, because she has to go through all these golf balls and pray that one of them is Lisa's ball. But it turns out that none of them turn out to be the case,
No,
unfortunately.
I love the scenario, this situation here, where it's like, okay, Lori's pretty much stuck with all these golf balls that could be one of Lisa's balls, and then she ends up like getting all those golf balls and bring it all the way to the course.
Yeah, like she
So it's
carried
like,
like
yeah, what
she
is
carried
there?
two full buckets of golf balls with her. But even then, even taking like two full buckets of golf balls, I'm just like, that's still a whole lot of golf balls you have to swing. So
And the other thing too is that there are all the other students that were also carrying golf balls as well. So they're kind of wondering like, why are you bringing all these golf balls? And I love this excuse where like Lori says, these are all practice swings. I want to practice swing and to make sure I can actually get a hole in one and all.
yeah, but unfortunately, none of them to manage to work.
So Lori does a lot of practice swings, quote unquote practice swings, all the golf balls, hoping one of them would be Lisa's golf ball, but none of them seem to be the lucky golf ball. And this is where she actually comes clean and actually admits that all the hole-in-ones were the luck of Lisa's golf ball. So your thoughts on this confession here, where she finally reveals the fact that like even with all these practice swings or all these hits of golf balls that she was going to go through, like she was hoping that one of them was going to be Lisa's, but in the end, none of them were. And you pretty much had a whole golf field full of you have pretty much had a whole golf course full of golf balls. And in the end, she had to admit it, the fact that she she didn't actually get the hole in one on perfectly. She literally had it. She literally cheated because she had Lisa's golf ball be the one to actually give them all the hole in ones.
Yeah. Now Lori is in a position where she practically had no choice but to tell the truth, and lo and behold, she actually does. And right afterwards, the episode transitions to a scene that it actually turns out to be better for Lori's character. It turned out to be better for Lori than I thought. We're going to touch upon that later. But yeah, it's nice to see Lori coming clean. Like, even though that's sort of what she could have been doing before she went through all this, finding golf ball madness, like going through the Scrubbinator 3000, pretty much finding all these mountains of golf balls, and then pretty much stressing herself out doing this.
I just felt so bad. I just felt so bad for her, considering that she was just looking through all the golf balls and literally swinging through every one of them to make sure that one of them is Lisa's.
Yeah, I felt bad for her too because, like I said, it's not like she purposely cheated. It's not like she it's not like she purposely cheated. Like only
It was
after
accidentally. It
she
was
had
accidentally, considering that she picked up one of Lisa's balls, unfortunately.
like only after she had her day of golf, and only after the phone call with Lisa did she know that the ball was a fluke the whole time. So honestly, like I do feel pretty bad for Lori because of the fact that she thought that she scored perfect, but it just like she didn't really score perfect. And then she of course for valid reasons waits the day later to tell them, but not before going through all this wild goose chase.
I know she tried her best to like try to hide the ruse and everything. Like she went through all this time to find Lisa's ball, and in the end, her ball was gone. It got washed, and then in the end, one of those golf balls that were in the golfinator. I mean, I know she wants to try to hide the ruse. She wants to still become that celebrity status sort of position. So she would do whatever it takes to make sure she gets it back. And she did all this sort of things to get like hitting all those golf balls into golf courses to make sure that one of them actually is the one. And unfortunately, I understand like Laura's disappointment. Like I understand the ruse is over now. You have to admit it. You have to tell everybody. You can't get all these freebies anymore, Lori. It's time for you to actually admit that all of this was a lie, that you had to tell the truth and all. So yeah, in the end of this whole situation, Lori does admit that she did cheat, considering that she had a golf ball that was made by Lisa, that pretty much gave her that whole perfect game. But after that confession, we get to see Lori like become very nice to say. Like she literally just goes to everybody and just like does the opposite. Like Lori will be the one driving this one driver. Lori will be the one to give a massage to this person. Lori will be the one to give a sweater to this one guy that gave him a free sweater, and also make a sundae to the one person that was making sundaes. So it's Lori that's doing the stuff instead of sorry, it's Lori doing this stuff instead of the other people, instead of the other students from Fairway University that's doing it. So what are your thoughts on Lori actually like redeeming herself by doing that?
I do like that. I feel like rather than getting chastised or getting canceled at the end, this is a much better way to end this episode. Like have Lori doing nice things for others in return, like how the others have been doing nice things for Lori, like the previous day. I really do like that. It really does show how sorry she is, how actions speak louder than words, and how like she really does value the friendships with each and every single one of these people in Fairway University up to a point where she feels really bad for what she did. So of course to show that she those shows through her actions, like all this stuff, all this favors that Fairway University and as well as her golfing and her friends that partake in this mean the world to her.
I definitely think that after all of the stuff that they were giving to her, the way that she gets the redemption back is for her to actually do the same things to them. And I do love this fact. Like this tells me that Lori's actually maturing. She's not being that person that says like, "Oh, thank you for giving me all this stuff. Now I have to tell you the truth." So in the end, at least what she does in the end just tells you like she's definitely a nice person. She's not that one person who will definitely take advantage of being a celebrity status and just take all of these freebies. Yeah. So in the end, she wants to get those freebies back by doing all of this stuff for the other students at Fairway University, and it just tells me how good of a sweetheart she is, So I find it to be a really satisfying ending. It's not like, oh, Lori, your punishment is doing this, or you're pretty much like chastised for Fairway University because you had this. But at the end, at least here, you get to see Lori just being very nice to them because they were being nice to her, especially when she had that perfect game.
Yeah, definitely. And I will say this too. I'm going to say this one thing. Let's say it was season 1 Lori that was in this position.
Oh no!
If it was season 1 Lori, would she have told them? No,
I don't think so. And that's the part here that tells me like ever since season 1, we get to see like she was a jerk to Lincoln this way. And then when she grows up to season 6, Lori, it just tells you like, look, she's not mature. She's a young woman, and she definitely is a better person compared to what we've seen before in the early episodes of the Loud House.
In my opinion, all of them are. But especially like Lori, Lincoln, and Lynn, most of all, their present selves definitely blow their past season one selves out of the water. Like the difference between their season one selves and their season six selves, day and night.
I think they definitely tells you the improvement that happens in the Loud House, and it just tells you the continuity is definitely there, and it all works out. I love it. I mean, that's the reason why we still love this show.
Yeah, honestly, and yes, we still love this show. Okay, there may be others that still don't really like the show, and I'm just like, okay, you're lost. Just kidding.
Exactly. Anything else you want to bring up from this episode?
Yes, Loud House writers, please give us more episodes like this. We want to see more of this. Okay, we want to see more Lori Loud centric,
Yes,
Fairway University
especially
centered episodes like this.
especially
Okay,
the fact that I'm a Lori fan. I mean, hello, I love my college golf Loud for sure.
exactly. Like we don't need any loud siblings interfering. We don't need any, ghost stories. We don't need any half-baked BS that comes its way to Fairway University. No, we don't need any of that, okay? Just give us more of this. Thank you.
Yeah. I gotta say this though. Can Lisa please stop experimenting on animals because it. Why would you do this to Geo? You literally became a giant in the call. I'm like, why are you doing this, Lisa?
Yeah, isn't that considered I don't know, animal abuse or something?
I don't know. Lisa's just continues to be a 5-year-old that loves to experiment with animals. I guess
Yeah, but still they're
there's like
animals
there.
though.
I mean, there's like so many. There. I mean, there's been so many like scenes where we get to see Lisa experiment with like something. Like she'll have a call, and then in the background you get to see something like more morph in the background. In this case, Geo, because he became a giant in the end.
Yeah, let's just say that if Sid Chang would ever see what kind of experiments Lisa would do on these animals, I would bet you anything she would cancel her subscription to Lisa's podcast series like immediately. Let's just put it like
Yeah, I would say so too.
that.
But also to be fair, the ending was actually not that where we get to see Lori like pretty much like get forgiven by doing all these tasks from the other students. It actually did end with was it Coach Niblick actually finding Lisa's ball. And unfortunately, the ball was actually chasing Coach Niblick. So I thought that was actually pretty hilarious. It didn't end like where Lori is just being nice. It ended up with Coach Niblick literally being chased by a ball.
Like this guy never gets a break, does he? He never seem to catch a break. Like remember last episode where he was like his whole body was in a alligator's godforsaken mouth, and now you got Coach Niblick like screaming, running for his life from a flying ball.
I think that was like hilarious ending, to be fair. And I don't
Yeah,
know.
but
I
still.
just feel like Liblick is kind of like tired of the Loud. He'll love Lori, but every other Loud will be like, why are they always torturing me?
I know. It's like what did Coach Niblick, Loud siblings? Let me ask you, what did poor Niblick ever do to you? What did Coach Niblick ever do to you? Come on, give him a break.
I didn't expect this to happen. Thanks a lot, Louds. Why did you end up doing? Why did you end up doing this to poor little Coach Niblick? I mean, he gave Lori that scholarship.
Exactly. This is how you repay him.
Oh man. All right. I got nothing else to say, so let's actually go straight to our ratings. I mean, how would you rate Stroke of Luck?
I would honestly rate this and I would honestly rate this an 8 out of 10. It was definitely it was definitely a really good Lori episode. Of course, it's the Lori episode we've been waiting for. It's the episode that we have been dying to see, and lo and behold, we got it. Like there were some things that could have been done a bit differently, but like even so, I really liked this episode. I was really impressed with how he managed to pull off a Lori focused episode where it's just Lori alone. And just by the fact that what she goes through from being a celeb to pretty much stressing out over finding the ball to confessing and all that stuff really does show that this episode opens doors to more Lori Loud focused Fairway U episodes to come, hopefully.
obviously, I was very impressed. Just the fact that this is the Lori episode, literally her in college, and I believe we've been begging for this for so long. Yes, we got some episodes that we had before that had Lori in college, but some of them have been busts. Some of them have been not that great. This episode, on the other hand, wasn't that bad. Like I wouldn't say like 10 out of 10 episode, but there's it. I would say it's still I like it. I love Lori. She definitely is an amazing character, and I definitely wanted to see more of her in college. And that's why that's why I always keep on saying, can we actually have that spin-off series where we get to see Lori literally in college, make it a Paramount Plus series or anything? Because it'd be cool to have for people who watch The Loud House who are like as the same age as Lori going to college. And yeah, sure, it may not be like a golf college like what Lori is doing, but at least it's gonna be something that people can learn from whenever they're gonna go to college and all. See, I'm telling you, Loud House writers, please make something like that happen. But I mean, this episode overall, I thought it was okay. I love how this was for Lori, especially when she had a big struggle with trying to figure out why she ended up getting those hole-in-ones. And I must say I was impressed, but not that impressed. So yeah, great episode overall, 8 out of 10 for me. So please, like, can we have more Lori episodes, because this is great. Like I love how this is becoming to be.
Nate, I'm kind of surprised you didn't rank it any higher. I was thinking,
like I said, the plot of it was kind of considering that it was her taking advantage of being a celebrity in the end, you know. Yeah.
But Nate, it's your favorite character.
It is my character. I gave Stella Performance a 9 out of 10, and then I gave a Lori episode an 8 out of 10. Maybe more Lori episodes in college, please. Maybe more of that. Maybe I could get more impressed.
Obviously, you're better at controlling your. Obviously, you're better at controlling your bias than I am, considering
why every Luna episode becomes a 10 out of 10 for you.
No, I gave Hiccups and Downs a 9 out of 10. Okay, so it's technically not a perfect score, but I'm just saying you better control your biases better than I do. So
yeah, so control your bias more, considering that you're a huge Luna fan.
Easier said than done. Easier said.
Yeah, I gave it an 8 out of 10 last episode. I forgot. All right, so let's move on to our next episode called what was it? Space Jammed. And the synopsis here reads: annoyed by Leni's intrusive babysitting, Lisa accidentally blasts herself and Todd into space. So the episode begins with Lisa working on building a rocket when Leni constantly checks on Lisa as her babysitter. She makes sure that Lisa takes care of herself, such as snacking and napping. And I understand Lisa's perspective, considering that she will have an experiment to do, but Leni was still there being a babysitter and all. So what are your thoughts? The fact that Lisa just was annoyed with Leni always intruding while she was doing her work and all.
I've always wanted to see an episode focus solely on these two, because Leni and Lisa, let's be honest, like they are two completely different sisters. Like you've got the young, smart, genius loud sister, and on the other side, you've got the much older, much taller, much dumber, but much sweeter loud sister Leni. So when you do bring two opposite characters together, you can manage to make one quite of an episode. Like you can there's actually much material you can work with two opposite characters. Head Poet's Anxiety, for example, with two opposite characters like Luann and Lucy, they managed to make Head Poet's Anxiety one of the best season 3 episodes. Space Jammed, like they managed to make the chemistry, the bond between Lisa and Leni so heartwarming.
I never expect to actually see an episode like this. Like I always see Leni hang out with her friends or hang out with Lori or hang out with any of the other siblings, but I never expect the dynamic between the smarts and the dumb and the dits. So you get to see the dits who's Leni, you get to see the smart person who's Lisa. And I always get to see I never get to see those two together, like ever. Like they never cooperate with each other. And it's kind of cool to see how you say, get rise to Dexter's Lab for some reason. Literally, you get to see the genius Lisa, and you get to see the dumb one who's like Leni, like Dexter and Dee Dee, if you watch the show.
Yeah, you definitely. This totally gave me Dexter's Lab vibes right there. Like this is definitely. You might as well call this Lisa's laboratory.
Yeah, and thank you, Yellowtail, for that suggestion.
Yeah. All this missing is for Leni to go, ooh, what does this button do? What does this button totes do?
Did she even press a button? Maybe she did. I may have forgotten.
Yes, she did, but Lisa told her to do that.
So yeah, I mean, this was kind of cool to see these two dynamics, what was it, clash with each other, especially in an episode like this. So it's like, cool, Leni and Lisa. How does this work out? So yeah, we get to see Lisa wanting to escape from Leni's intrusive babysitting to take the rocket and fly out into outer space. Once in outer space, the rocket has developed some problems, like the thrusters being offline, being hit by asteroids, and to say the least, a lot of problems that have been happening unfortunately under not under Lisa's control, to say. Lisa's pretty much in grave danger due to the rocket not functioning properly. When you saw Lisa being like this, what are your thoughts knowing that Lisa's like in a situation in outer space?
My God, like honestly, for someone as young as Lisa, keep in mind, she's 4 years old and she's in a life-threatening situation. Like honestly, I was very worried and very concerned for her to go on a life-threatening situation like this. I know it's technically to pretty much impress the Norwegians, it's to help the Norwegian government, but at the same time, though, Lisa, is your life really worth it? Is your life really worth? Is it really worth risking your life over? Just saying.
I don't know, but here's the thing that I've also noticed as well. I mean, Lisa has been I feel like Lisa has been under a lot of stress considering what has been going on with her. She literally has a buggy babysitter. You have Leni literally coming in, intruding her, just telling her to take a nap or eat snacks or even make up or even do a puzzle together. And I understand like Lisa's perspective where she's like, dude, I'm tired of this. No, I'll do my snap, or et cetera, et cetera. And yeah, look, and the thing is that she's been very intrusive and all, like literally just looking through a camera and saying, "Hey, you taking your nap yet?" And I love the fact that Lisa like lied here and says like, "I'm gonna take my nap here in my bunker," and Leni says, "Sweet dreams and everything."
Yeah, I kind of like Lisa's. I kind of like Lisa's look of annoyance here. Like she's kind of done with Leni. It's like you can tell she's like, "Really, woman? Really? What is there? Like, is there nothing you won't do?" Like I like Lisa's look like that.
I just think like
especially with the eyes,
okay,
especially with the annoyed eyes.
Okay, so here's the thing that I also noticed in this sequence here. I think Todd was also helping Lisa out as well. Did you have that vibe as well, where like Todd is saying like, "You should do this, you should do that," that kind of stuff?
Yes, I do like the fact that, like, once again, Todd shows how he really truly does feel like a member of the Loud family in a sense. And it's really evident when you see Todd give Lisa advice, and also, especially when Todd has saved Lisa on numerous times during their, trip outer space.
And I love the fact that like she's also taking advantage from what Leni's also saying as well. Like you should take your nap or you should get those snacks or something like that. Because Todd was pretty much like the voice, like was it the voice in Lisa's head, literally saying things that would be helpful for Lisa, but in the end, Lisa just continues to ignore him, continues to ignore Leni, continues to ignore Todd, and in the end, it starts to just backfire on her, considering how she pretty much went through this mission and everything starts to fail for her, going through a rocket, going through the asteroid field, and literally about to go into the sun. So it's like, wow, Lisa, this is not looking good for you. Maybe there's a reason why Todd and Leni are helping you out.
Yeah, exactly. Because let's be honest, Lisa, even though you are a genius yourself, you can manage to handle yourself quite well, like on most occasions. Let me tell you, this is not one of those occasions, okay? Like here, you can't help yourself. You got to have Todd and Leni help you out there. You know what I mean?
Exactly. And I understand that Lisa's just a 5-year-old girl, but as a 5-year-old girl who's very gifted and all, you still are acting like a 5-year-old kid. So your body is still a 5-year-old kid. You will get tired. You'll get what is it? Not the right energy in your brain, or even get sloppy, to say. Considering what happened in these couple of scenes here, where you get to see like Lisa, space out a little bit. You get to see Lisa just like she almost like got her life risk, considering that if it wasn't for Todd, Lisa would have actually been like floating into space by now.
Exactly. This is a near death experience for her. Near death.
So to say the least, Lisa definitely is out of sync. Like with all the things that have been happening to her, especially with the Norwegians just pressuring her to do all this kind of stuff, you can totally see from these couple of scenes she's out of sync. She cannot be able to function properly. She's giving out the wrong commands. Things are just going wrong for her. So here's the thing. Lisa's in a situation. She's about to go into the sun, which means that Lisa needs to contact people. I mean, first off, she contacts NASA, and apparently it does take forever to contact NASA.
Yeah, because NASA's always busy. So
yeah, 7 light years, Jesus. So there's only one person that Lisa would be able to connect to, and it would be Leni. And Leni would help her out by pretty much entering the bunker, helping Lisa get control of the ship. And a lot of things just ensue. Where, to be fair, Leni was very helpful to Lisa, but Lisa, even if Lisa did bring out the commands to Leni, she still made mistakes. I mean, they're in an asteroid field in this situation where, what was it? She got a code. Leni was able to actually go inside the bunker, pretty much enter Lisa's birthday, and it pretty much was she pretty much was listening under Lisa. So she pretty much gave her commands and all, but in the end, it ended up backfiring on Lisa, considering that she was already hurling towards the sun. So now you get to see that she's totally out of sync, and it's all because of what's been happening to her. So what are your thoughts knowing that Lisa's definitely out of whack here?
Honestly, it does make sense considering the fact that least even geniuses can manage to go through this. Like even 5-year-old geniuses, especially, do go through this thing where they do feel a bit out of sync. Like their brains don't really function as well as they used to, especially when you're in godforsaken outer space and next to the sun. Of course, anyone wouldn't exactly have the right, set of mind when you're about to literally approach the sun. Okay, I'm just saying.
So in this part here where we get to see Lisa literally give commands to Leni, she literally gave a command for Leni to type down a code and press enter. And then in the end, she pretty much blasts them into warp speed, and literally was. And the thing was that she pretty much brought them over to the sun, and it's not Leni's fault; it was Lisa's fault. So you get to see that Lisa definitely was out of whack. Like, oh my god, like she totally giving the wrong codes. She couldn't be able to fix this on time. They blasted themselves even further into the asteroid field. To say there's something wrong with Lisa.
Yeah, in this particular scene, you kind of expected Leni to type in the wrong code. You kind of expected it to be Leni's fault because, let's be honest, like Leni's the dumb one of the two. But no, it's surprisingly, in a shocking twist of events, it was actually like Lisa who was at fault in this particular situation for giving Leni the wrong code.
And in the end, they warp speed into the sun. And to be fair, it's not looking good for Lisa right now.
Oh my god! I can't even watch, man. Like a 5-year-old girl. Think about this: 5-year-old girl is about to die. She's about to head into the sun and burn to a crisp. That's just pretty horrifying.
That's kind of horrendous. If things started to fail like that, I'm like, Lighthouse writers, are you really giving away a gifted child like this?
Exactly. That's a bit dark. Like, okay, like honestly. Like even as someone like who has been, asking for more darker themes in the show, honestly, this is like kind of going, a bit, I mean, it's kind of going a bit far, is what I'm saying.
So to say the least, Lisa is kind of in a predicament. She's about to get herself hurled into the sun, but it turns out that it was because of Lisa lacking of snacking and napping that she slipped up. So Leni pretty much tells Lisa Leni tells Lisa that she's packed up snacks for her in her backpack, which actually helps her brain a little bit. And because Lisa didn't take her nap, Leni told her just to shake. And in the end, it all turned out well for them. What are your thoughts on Leni really helping her out in this?
Yeah. You know what they say about shake those willies, shake them willies because they really do help you out. And she's not wrong about that. She's not wrong because once you do, you pretty much wave your arms around, get flexible and all this stuff. It really does help set your mind straight. So I do like the fact that how Leni pretty much uses her babysitting tactics, and those babysitting tactics actually manage to work because, as we all know, you need a good amount of snacking and you need like a good amount of napping or moving around in order to help get your brain flowing. So I do like the fact that Leni came up with actual solutions to this idea, and they actually do manage Lisa become in sync again.
To say the least, it really all worked out in the end. Yeah, I understand that they're about to hurl into the sun, but to be fair, with Lenny's help, Lisa was able to actually get her brain working again, and now she knows what to do to get themselves out of the sun's gravitational pull. And also with the fact that Lenny also helped out by entering that code and getting them into warp speed to get them out of the sun and to get them back to Earth. So, to be fair, these three all together helped helped out Lisa in this situation.
That's what you call teamwork.
So Lisa fixes the rocket, but the rocket still gravitates towards the sun. Leni enters the right code, have the rocket fly towards Earth and safely home. Lisa would thank Leni, and she would also apologize for not listening to her. Um, and that also the fact that Leni also hugs Lisa. Yeah, Leni hugs Lisa, tells her she's been looking out for her since she was born and always will, which I thought was a very sweet moment, considering Leni has been a babysitter to Lisa, and it definitely it definitely showed, especially in this one episode here. So what are your thoughts here in this ending sequence?
I just love it. It is just so sweet. Like seeing Leni and Lisa bonding, and it's just something that I've always wanted to see happen because of how polar opposite they are. And just that whole sequence of like Leni smiling, hugging Lisa when she arrives back on Earth and tells her that she's always been looking out for her ever since she was born. She always will. I'm just like, oh my gosh, yes, we want more scenes like this. We want more moments of this, Loudhouse. Come on, give us more of this. And then of course to see Leni and Lisa playing their puzzle together, which I thought was really sweet. Like right there. Oh my god, look at this. Oh, my heart, my heart.
Yeah.
I am feeling. Help me. I am feeling.
I love the fact that like Lisa's definitely tearing up in the end. It's like, yeah, because Leni is definitely an awesome babysitter.
Look at that. And then you see like the cheeks squish together. It's just like, that's a whole lot of sisterly love right there.
Definitely is cute. Oh my god. But yeah, I mean, if it wasn't for Leni, Lisa would have been burnt to a crisp. And no doubt these two definitely worked out together, and in the end, they definitely, well, to say the least, Leni definitely saved Lisa's butt here. And of course, she gives out so much really good advice as well. I mean, look, Leni gave out the advice to eat snacks because it actually helps your brain, to take a nap because it actually will help your brain, especially in these like tough missions. And Lisa never did that. And in the end, she almost got herself burnt to a crisp. If it wasn't for Leni's help, Leni would have definitely, if it wasn't for Leni's help, Lisa would have been dead. But no doubt, Leni definitely stepped up in the end and gave her all the things that she needed, like in a last minute ditch, and was able to save her and was able to complete a mission to say.
Yeah, it was definitely good on Leni for coming to save the day. I really like that. Although, if I'm gonna be honest like this is gonna sound a bit dark, but I feel that after this moment, right there, like after what she went through, Lisa's gonna probably suffer from PTSD for a while.
We'll see. Let's just hope she doesn't go back into the outer space or anything. I don't know. Her experiments are weird, man.
Yeah, this is one of those cases where it's like, okay, Lisa, you gotta tone down with the experience. Okay, no more outer space trips for you, Missy.
For real. And yeah, no doubt about it. This definitely was the end of the episode where they actually end up completing that puzzle. So yeah, great. Anything else you want to bring up from this episode?
Nothing much I want to say really, except this has been an episode of Lisa's Laboratory, and like I said before, I want to see more of Lisa and Leni bonding episodes like this.
Oh yeah, definitely. If we can actually get to see more of Leni just starting to become like not the dumb person that we know, but more of a smart person, I mean, it just tells me that Leni is really responsible when it comes to things like this. That when she's a babysitter, she actually takes care of her little siblings by giving her snacks, making them nap, and it all worked out in the end for Lisa, considering that they definitely are. She definitely is looking out for her younger siblings and everything. I thought that was just absolutely sweet. That for an older person like Leni to be babysitting her siblings, it really is a very sweet moment just to see that.
I agree.
All right, so how would you rate Space Jammed?
I would rate this an 8.5 out of 10. Definitely a great way to show the bond between Leni and Lisa, especially considering the fact that they are two completely different Louds, but they somehow managed to come together to make for one sweet memorable episode, where it's basically Lisa, who's been out of sync. Like, for a smart person like Lisa to be a bit out of sync, a bit of not knowing what to do with the rocket. And then you see a dumb person like Leni offering solutions and problems to help Lisa get out of a jam, a space jam. Oh man, it really does show how like Leni and Lisa like do appear to be much more than what they seem.
I got nothing much to say about this episode. I think this is just absolutely sweet just to see a Leni and Lisa episode we should never seen ever in the Loud House. If we could get to see more of like sister and sister episode where we get to see like one sister bond with another sister that we never expect to actually see them bond together, then I would be down to see how this episode works. This definitely works out for Leni and Lisa. I mean, Lisa could be the genius and all that, but at least Leni would be there to also help support her when it comes to situations where, like, say, for example, she's about to die in the sun. It just tells you how great of a babysitter Leni is and how she's always going to be there to help Lisa out in predicaments like this. So I just love how Leni becomes such a support for Lisa, and this episode shows it. Yeah, Lisa could be that one person that definitely wants to get things done, especially when she's a genius and all, but you do need to get your older siblings help, especially when it comes to situations like this. And I thought this was absolutely sweet. So yeah, a good episode overall, just to see Leni and Lisa actually have an episode together. So I would give this an 8.5, 8.5 as well. Definitely nice to see these two together. I don't know if we're going to see them have another episode again, but at least this was pretty nice to see, having Leni and Lisa have an episode.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, last but not least, let's head over to the last episode that also aired on the same day, on the 16th of September, and it's called Crown and Dirty. So in this episode, Lola tries to whip Rita into tip-top pageant condition for a mother-daughter pageant. Now, the episode begins with Luna and Lincoln chilling, just watching TV, when Lola actually suddenly pops up due to pageant senses tingling. Oh, her pageant senses are tingling and all. When she heard Dana Dufresne talk about this whole Little Miss Mother and Daughter pageant. She's also hosting her pageant with her own mom, which is interesting considering that she's also old, the old Mrs. Yo-Yo. So how did you like the fact that you saw Dana Dufresne return and we get to see Lola back into pageantry?
Yeah, it's really nice to see Dana Dufresne, especially when she's a transgender character. So, going on Loud House is showing like transgender representation. I love that. Yeah, I've always liked Dana as a character, with that energy that she brings onto these pageant shows. And of course, the biggest example being Gown and Out. And also just for the fact that, oh my gosh, seeing Luna and Lincoln watching TV, chilling together, that image will always live in my head rent free. I love that little moment between Luna and Lincoln.
Really? Just them just chilling while they're just, flipping to TV?
Just them just chilling and watching TV. Yes. Look at that. It's beautiful.
I don't find it entertaining. I just find it like I find this scene just killing time because they had no ideas what to do. So they literally just have Lincoln and Luna just literally chill, looking for something to watch. And then when they went to the commercial where Dana comes up and says about this whole Little Miss mom and daughter pageant, that's when Lola starts popping in and just says all the details about this whole said pageant.
Well, because another thing too is that we haven't seen Luna and Lincoln bond one-on-one like for the longest time. And another thing too, it's a scene that's actually kind of unexpected because you would expect Luna to be doing this kind of stuff with Sam, or you would expect Lincoln to be doing this stuff with Clyde. But no, it's actually just Luna and Lincoln together watching TV and sitting on the couch chilling. It's just, I know it's a small moment, but it just speaks volumes. It's so beautiful.
I guess so, yeah. So yeah, the thing is that the one thing that pops out from Dana's commercial was the fact that there's going to be a mother and daughter Little Miss pageant. But Lola says she refuses to enter Rita with her mom because she is unhappy with how Rita is. She enters the house dirty, covered in bruises, telling the kids how she wrestled another mom to get eggs. So to say the least, yeah, she definitely is not pageant material. Although to be fair, Rita definitely loves to be hanging out with her kids recently. And even Luna and Lincoln even knows about that. And Luna even warns Lola about this whole situation, that Rita is too much into mother-kid activities And they also shared their story about Rita overbearing in their activities. So what are your thoughts on the fact that their mom is definitely really wanted to hang out with her kids more, and just warns Lola that, your mom's definitely going to really want to be a part of this?
Yeah, I really do like Luna and Lincoln's stories, especially that they share with Lola regarding Rita. Like, for example, Luna tells Lola that she's been involved in wanting to play the tambourine for the Moon Goats last gig, which, again, let's go, Moon Goats. Yes, let's go. And also, I liked how Lincoln tells Lola that she's been involved in wanting to get into that David Steele movie as like it's pretty much a role in which she plays as David Steele's mom in the latest film of David Steele. I'm just thinking to myself, could it be that she would play like a role kind of similar to M from 007, where M's not really the biological mother per se, just like David Steele's mom is, but just by the fact that M plays as this, stern, strict boss of James Bond, could it be that what the movie is trying to show us is Rita could pull off a character like that, play the M to his David Steele?
Possibly, but isn't M supposed to be like the helpful person, right?
Yeah, like helpful person, like stern,
That's Lisa
strict,
though.
and at the same time helpful.
That's Lisa though, isn't it?
Um, well, she's more of a like technology gadget sort of helpful. What M really is like, okay, correct me if I'm wrong, I rarely watched 007, but I don't think I can recall M working some sort of like technology or invention. It's more like a mother.
What's the name? What's the code name for the person who was into the tech? I forgot, because he gives them all the cool gadgets and stuff.
I forget. That's what I mean. I've only watched a few of the Daniel Craig movies. That's pretty much it. So,
Yeah, I think that was
what?
M.
So
No,
whoever
M is
here,
supposed to be the boss. Yeah.
yeah, M's supposed to be like the mother figure in a way.
Mm.
So that's what it is. By the way, someone in the Loud Constant Talks chat, please comment below and let us know who exactly the gadgeteer for 007 is. Like, if you guys watch 007.
So my thing here is that I know Rita definitely wants to be a part of their kids' like activities. I cannot see like her bag a tambourine, just trying to be all rockish like with the moon goats and all.
Yeah,
Um,
no, not even close.
and then you also get to see like her being a part of Lincoln's film. That doesn't seem to be the good way as well. Although, to be fair, when I thought the fact about Rita becoming like a pageant girl like Lola, it could happen. I mean, even before, like, we also did see some flashbacks in the episode where we get to see Lola and her mom even performing together and all.
Yeah, yeah.
But
Honestly, I
yeah,
just
and
see that.
I was kind of wondering like why wasn't Lola really thinking about that? Like, look, maybe your mom definitely didn't have the pageantry anymore, so maybe now you start to think, why not have another mom that actually can work out better? I don't
Probably.
know. I don't know. um. So yeah. Um. Oh, all right, I'm getting lost in this here. So here's the thing: like, Lola was actually about to like sign up by herself with another person that's going to be her mom, but thanks to Leni, Rita does find out about the pageant, and then she signs them up to do it together. So this causes Lola to coach Rita. Coach Rita to make a preppy mom for the pageant. Teaches about postures, waves, smiles, like all that kind of stuff. She usually teaches her how to ribbon dance, so that doesn't go well either. So my thing here is that let's start off first with how Rita ended up actually noticing about this whole pageant, because it thought Lola would be the one to actually just hide it from her, but it turned out to be Leni would be the one to actually say, "Oh my God, have you heard about this pageant?" And of course, Rita heard about that. Lola definitely was. At the same time, Rita definitely wanted to be a part with Lola, considering how Rita wanted to be like want to bond with her kids a whole lot more. So, your thoughts here on how the secret came out, and that Rita now wants to be a part of Lola's pageant thing here.
Can I just say how adorable Leni is in the scene? Because Leni is adorable in the scene. Like, especially when you see Leni pretty much revealing that the signups are actually coming soon. Oh my god. Can I just say I love this hug that Rita gives to Lola right there. It's just, oh my god, look at that. Like, we can tell how
I know
excited
that
Rita
Lola's
is.
just absolutely disappointed because she knew that because it was going to be all about her, not with not with her mom at all.
Yeah, and I just love the fact that after Leni reveals that there's actually signups coming, and then Lola's like, "How can I ever repay you?" I love the look that Leni pulls off the pose that she's like, "No need, giving's my brand." Like,
I
like
saw that.
she pulls off that look. I
You mean,
just love that.
where's that look? This look, right?
Yes, yes, I want more of this Leni. Like, oh my god, that another image that will always live rent free in my head. Just that look, just that pose that Leni gives, where she has that hand like to her chin, where it's like you can tell that
Like,
she's happy with what she's doing.
she literally even says like there's only a few minutes left, so Leni and Rita would end up like signing them up together. So that's why Lola's like, oh, I can't believe I ended up getting signed up to her. She ends up getting like furious to say.
Look at
Yeah,
that.
I don't understand. Like, I understand, like, Lola, this is your mom. Wouldn't you be great with having a pageantry with your mom and all? But I don't understand like the whole prim and perfect thing that Lola always keeps on having, because when she was a kid, when she did pageantry, she turned out to be really nice. Nowadays, it's like, wow, everything's gonna become a competition for you. And having Rita become a part of this pageant thing, it's like I can't let her be a part of it because she's not prim and perfect, that kind of thing.
Yeah, honestly, when it comes to pageants, let's be honest, Lola has always been competitive at first. Like, whenever a pageant comes up, Lola will use every opportunity she gets in order to really get the gold prize. So it's not really out of the norm for Lola to act like that. So yeah.
Yeah, Lola definitely doesn't like Rita to become that motherly figure when it comes to the pageant, that's for sure. But here's the thing: now they all sign up together, so Lola would have to do this whole boot camp where Rita will try to be perfect, just like what Lola is. By smiling, by waving, by doing a ribbon dance, just everything that Lola pretty much has done. And to be fair, Rita did her best, but she failed at everything through this boot camp and all. What are your thoughts about this pageant boot camp that Lola was setting up for her?
I thought this would have been a perfect opportunity to bring back pageant coach Lincoln. You know how you had pageant coach
Right,
Lincoln
I forgot.
in those tiaras?
Where happened to Pageant Coach Lincoln? I'm like, what did he come up? That was like season 3, if I remember correctly.
It was Gown and Out. It was Gown and Out in season 3, and it was Toads and Tiaras in season 1. So I'm just like, yo, if pageant coach Lincoln were in this episode, it would have been a pageant coach Lincoln trilogy.
It would have been great to actually have that, but now I think Lincoln is doing his own thing now. That's why Lola would do her own boot camp. And I do love the fact that like Lola is taking advantage of Rita just because, oh yeah, look, I'm the one who's the pageant queen here. I'm gonna show you all the ropes on how to do this and that. But every situation that Rita has been into, from walking to smiling to doing the ribbon dance, it's all been failures for her. And you can understand why Lola's upset about that.
Yeah. Honestly, like, if you thought that Lynn and her friends first session of cheering practice was a failure, oh, let me tell you, you ain't seen nothing yet, but you've seen Rita trying to do her pageant like within the first 5 minutes.
Yeah, to say the least, Lola's not okay with Rita. although, although to be frank, we did actually get to see like what is it, Lola do a ribbon dance, but at the same time, you also get to see a little flashback where you get to see them actually perform before, literally when they were little kids. I mean, literally Lola was a little kid and Rita was still the mom, and they did a pageant performance together, and it turned out to be really sweet. Like, I love this moment here. I'm like, oh, I didn't know that Rita and Lola actually did a performance together before.
Yeah, it turns out they actually did, and I've been like, okay, this would have perfect opportunity if they had brought this dance along.
Yeah, they did as well. But we'll talk about that later. I
I
just
mean,
feel like
they did, but
I did like
they
this
did, but
moment
at
here.
the end,
I
they
did like
did.
this moment here just because we get to see like small little Lola here. It was like she's been practicing pageantry ever since she was a little kid, like a 4-year-old in this case. and it was thanks to her mom that she ended up like doing pretty well to say.
Yeah. Honestly, this was a really nice moment. I'm thinking to myself, we kind of need more of these like we kind of need episodes that are basically prequel episodes that focus on the Louds being like younger like than their actual present ages. That would have been nice to see.
It was adorable. Yeah, like I said, it was a pretty adorable just to see that moment here. But like I said before, Rita still continues to fail. It's not working out for her. To say the least, I understand Lola's little frustration here. Do you feel for Lola here? Because it turns out your mom is not into pageantry. And if you're going to, quote, win this pageant, Lola definitely is not going to win it, considering that her mom is definitely not really fit for pageantry.
Yeah, honestly, I think like the only successful thing that has come out of the scene is actually Lola like bringing out her inner pageant coach. You know what I mean? Like we can see pageant coach Lola. I like the fact that how she's been learning. She's been throughout her experience with being with pageant coach Lincoln. She actually learns a few tricks of pageant coaching from her older brother. So that was really awesome to see.
But yeah, I mean, it definitely shows how Lola definitely is kind of in a distraught here. And the thing is here where we get some. It's weird considering how Lola just continues to talk with her plushies. She gives Lola Mr. Sprinkles actually gives the idea to Lola to dump Rita and find another person take her place. So in this scene here, we get to see her lie to Rita, telling the contest is canceled and goes off to search for someone else to do the pageant. What are your thoughts with the fact that Lola just lied right in front of Rita's face and just cried, saying the wedding, the pageant is canceled?
Oh man, let me tell you, Mr. Sprinkles is one diabolic bear. Like Mr. Sprinkles is sort of like that one friend that tells you, "Hey, do it." Like, actually, you know what I mean? Like Mr. Sprinkles is that pure pressure friend that you always have with you that pushes you to cause trouble, that pushes you to make that decision that you're hesitant about doing. Mr. Sprinkles is that guy. Mr. Sprinkles is that friend. Also, on a side note, Lola Loud is the way you see Lola Loud crying, flooding tears. It's like, man, Lola
Like
Loud is quite an
she's
actress.
selling it. Like she's selling it for sure.
Lola Loud is quite an actress because that crying was for real. That crying was for real.
Definitely a little felt emotional too.
I gotta
And
be
the other thing,
honest.
yeah, and to be fair, I understand what the heck's going on here, considering that Rita even suggested leopard print for their outfits. I know leopard print is supposed to be like so 80s or something. And no doubt Lola definitely doesn't like it. She even says it even after the act. She's like, leopard print? Are you kidding me?
By the way, insert Chris Tucker joke here. Just saying.
Oh God. Are you talking about that movie now?
Yes, we are.
Oh dear. So here's the thing: you're able to actually get Rita off your back, and Rita's not going to be participating with you in the pageantry. Now you got to still find somebody around the mall to say. So she eventually runs into a lot of people. She runs into
Mima. Liam's
this
Mima.
yeah, the Mima to some other girl, to some other girl, to some blah blah blah. And then we also get to see in the end, this is Bernardo. And they would actually be in agreement with the fact that Mrs. Bernardo would actually run as Lola's mom, Rita. What are your thoughts on having Mrs. Bernardo and Lola act together?
Mrs. Bernardo is a perfect choice just by the simple fact that she's into the performing arts. I mean, she's not only into acting, she's also into singing, she's into doing choreography. I'm just like, Lola Loud, you've got an ideal pageant mother right there. Her name is Mrs. Bernardo. Not only that, but Mrs. Bernardo could use it as a way, as sort of like a way to enhance her acting skills, to pretty much perform as Lola's mother in the pageantry. So honestly, yeah, Miss Bernardo is the perfect choice.
I mean, to be fair, she definitely does pull the role. I mean, you get to see her act a lot, and she's been acting a lot in season 6. You've seen Stress for the Part. You've seen her perform as a cat in that one episode, Catastrophe.
That episode was a catastrophe. I'm just saying.
And then you also get to see her. Look, I don't know what's going on, but I feel like Mrs. Bernardo is definitely having a lot more like like roles here. She's becoming more of a big secondary character when it comes to the Loud House now. And for her, out of all people, to help Lola out and become Lola's mom in this mom daughter pageant, I feel like it definitely worked out for her considering what happened in the next couple of scenes, because she definitely does fit the part as Rita.
She really does. Like I said, she takes herself into the role. Like she pretty much becomes the character. You know what I mean? Like, of course, I would know. I've done a lot of acting myself, so I would know how it actually works. Like you take in the character, you build the relationship with the character. You pretty much go through. You pretty much discover what the character's motivations are, and then like once you take in all those steps, boom, you instantly become that character. That's what Miss Bernardo did with Rita.
And like I said, Mrs. Bernardo definitely did her part by actually doing all the things that are like what Lola's talking about, from dressing up like Rita, from doing the waves of pageantry, and even doing the ribbon dance as well. So, to be fair, it's the perfect replacement for Rita in this case.
Yeah, even down to a point where she has a wig like Rita.
No, it looked really weird. To be fair, I kind of thought she was actually Rita. All of a sudden,
She looks like Rita's twin. She's pretty much Rita's twin.
no, I'm guessing she got the wig from Lincoln in this case.
Probably, yeah, from Lincoln's. No, actually, yeah, it was definitely from Lincoln's. Chest of disguises.
So the little Miss Mother Daughter pageant has now begun, and Lola and Mrs. Bernardo are getting ready. But the other thing too is that you also get to see the other moms and daughters, and it looks like they're having a fun time. There's not really much of a big competition to say. She did have a change of heart, because it just shows that, look, she now realizes this is not a big competition. This is definitely about the moms and the daughters having a fun time. This is not a big thing to actually compete against. So she would actually get a change of heart and says, "This is not. This feels really weird. I miss my mom." What are your thoughts on this change of heart that Lola had?
Oh yeah. Honestly, I do like the heartwarming message where it's like it's not about what you do, it's not about the prices, it's who you do it with. And in this case, it's doing the pageantry with your mom. And after seeing how the other pageant girls are having a much better time than she is, um, because they're spending time with their moms, they don't care about winning. That's when Lola looks ashamed of what she did right here. You see the eyes of, shame she feels upon herself. By the way, really solid character animation on the animator's
Mm-hmm.
part. Like this is where like the facial expressions really do convey what the character is feeling.
Oh God, it just felt so bad for her, because she realizes, after talking to a few people that we'll discuss later on, that this is not about a pageant competition. It's just a fun time with your mom and yourself. She understands now, like, why did I do all of this to get myself a pageant win? This is not all about winning. It's all about having fun. And when that change of heart happens, you get to see Mrs. Bernardo even give up her role as well. I can understand why she ends up with this situation. So it's like she sees Lola, and Mrs. Bernardo pretty much says, "I'm giving up my role. I cannot play your mom anymore. Go back to your mom and get her back into the pageant." That kind of stuff. I thought that was actually pretty nice of her to do. I what do you think about this part here where Mrs. Bernardo says, I can't do this. I know you're sad. I go back to your mom, blah blah blah. I don't know what she said, but she gives up her role.
I love the fact that this shows the humanity in Mrs. Bernardo. It was to show how she's not just, like she's not just, going out of her way to really like pushing herself to do the role. No, she actually sees Lola's sadness. She sees Lola missing her real mom. And that's when Mrs. Bernardo decides to be humble, show her humility, and pretty much give up her role just so Lola can perform happily with her mother. So I do like the fact that how like Mrs. Bernardo, even though she's very passionate about acting, like she does take the time to think about others and put others before herself. This isn't the only time we've seen this, by the way. We've seen how Mrs. Bernardo, like in that one episode where Luann goes out of her way to hide the fact that she got the role in Dairyland instead of Miss Bernardo. Mrs. Bernardo could have easily been pissed at Luna and jealous, but no, she actually managed to be really genuinely happy that her pupil managed to land the role that Miss Bernardo originally wanted.
And it just tells you like how great of a character Mrs. Bernardo is too, and she can't just like hold on to the role and stuff. At least she actually was able to move on from said roles. Like for example, in Stress for the Part, where she ended up getting that one role that Luann got, she moved on from that. And then in this part here, where she's just been supportive to Lola, like no matter what, she's been supportive to the Laos, and I thought that was just awesome to see Mrs. Bernardo like that.
I love her.
So Lola would go back to her mom and, of course, apologize and stuff like that. And in the end, they will actually perform together. So, what do you feel? How do you feel about this whole ending here, where you get to see Lola and Rita performing together?
I do like the fact that I thought that like the resolution, Rita forgiving Lola so easily, was a tad bit rushed, but at the end of the day,
Well,
Lola and Rita.
Rita was disappointed. It's like, first off, I'm disappointed that you said that, but at the same time, Rita definitely said, "I'm not going to perform unless we do that act." Obviously, because she had to rip a dance.
That disappointment lasted like a bit too short, in my opinion, because at the end of the day, she did lie to Rita about like not wanting about trying to get out of doing the mother-daughter pageant because she doesn't like doing with Rita. So I felt that the disappointment that Rita felt lasted a bit too short. I felt like it could have been like at least 1 to 5 minutes, and then come to the conclusion that Rita and Lola, like reconcile, and then they go perform together.
I know. But to be fair, I do love this whole moment here. Like maybe for like a little bit here, where you get to see Lola and Rita literally just say, Lola literally just come up and say, "I'm sorry I lied to you. Can you become my mommy for my pageant?" And it did take her a while for Rita to actually forgive her, but at the same time, it's like, okay, only on one condition: we should do that act together. And that act was the same act that happened when they were in kindergarten. When Lola was back in kindergarten to say, and I thought again, okay, cool. We get to see the same act again. And it was also pretty cute just to see those two perform again.
Yeah, I love it. It's just like the way they performed back when they did like years ago. Like they still have that energy. They still have that bond. They still have that love. Like even as they do the tap dancing together, like a few years later, it's just I love that they still have that.
Yeah, so to say the least, I mean, even if it's not the ribbon dance that Lola and Rita were practicing, at least they still had one little act in mind. And to be fair, it did turn out to become pretty cute for the audience and even Dana DeFrayne. So, and we don't even know who won, by the way. So it's like, what's the resolution here? Did they just end up having a fun time? I guess that was the resolution here.
Yeah, that is until Rita mentioned the fact that she ordered leopard costumes for them to wear.
Oh, and then that just cut the scene from there. That was the ending, guys.
I would also kill the leopard sound, like wow,
wow. Yeah. All right. Anything else you want to bring up from this episode?
Yes. Let me just say this. I love Mrs. Bernardo. The more I see her, the more she's becoming one of my favorite supporting characters of the show. Despite the fact that she embraces her thespian side, is really fun to watch. While at the same time, there are moments where she has to put her, love for acting aside in order to help the Laos. Love it, love it. I want to see more of this woman.
Mm-hmm. Anything else you want to bring up before I have my things to say? I have a lot from this episode.
Yes. Bring back Pageant Coach Lincoln. Bring back Pageant Coach Lincoln. Also, love the scene with Lincoln and Luna at the beginning once again.
Okay, I see. Okay, so I don't get it. I just feel like, okay, I get it. She's like a first grader or something. But Lola continues to talk to her plushies, and apparently these plushies are pretty much reflecting her thoughts. Apparently, Mr. Sprinkles is definitely an evil person that tells her to pretty much tell Rita to lie or something like that, or whatever that unicorn is. I forgot her name. But she just pretty much talks to them.
Eunice.
And I just find that to be Eunice. There you go. And it just tells you like how it's kind of cute because it's just little plushies and stuff. It is to play pretend and all, but sees her. You just see her become like such a big like villain to say like. I don't know what it's been plushies that has been there. I've seen it before in T-Tail Heart, for example, where she literally talks to plushies as well and says like, "What am I gonna do with this doll? These dolls haunting me," that kind of thing. So she does the same thing here in this episode where she tries to find an idea to get her mom out of the pageant. So then she talks to her plushies and stuff like that. So it kind of reminds me of like Tilly Green from Big City Greens, when she talks to Saxon, for example.
Yeah, I love the fact that how Lola and Tilly both have their companions, even though they're not really real, they're just dolls, they're just playthings. Just for the fact that how they interact with their toys, their playthings, their plushies and stuff like that, so inventive, so fun to watch. Honestly, it's really fun to see them like interact with them as if they're like their friends or their employees or like their coworkers that they would have a big meeting with, that sort of thing.
And like I said before, they're just like little kids. So talking to plushies, that's not that's normal, right? That's normal.
It's normal, but I just love like the way they pull it off too. They pull it off so creatively.
Okay. One thing I also want to bring up too, a lot of secondary characters that we've never heard about from so long actually come back. One person that never came, that literally we have never seen for so long, now came back. The last time we saw her was when she was had to deal with a dinosaur situation. Um, where have you been? Where have you been, Mrs. Johnson?
Yes,
I was like, what?
Mrs.
What?
Johnson.
I can't believe you're here.
Agnes is back after so long. Like honestly, I want to see her back, and I'm just wondering who Mrs. Johnson, like which loud is Mrs. Johnson teaching right now? Could it be Lucy?
Could be Lucy just because it's the next person. She's the next person up. Like she was born after Lincoln, so I would imagine she was teaching. She's teaching like well, she's teaching Lucy's class, which means that she's probably with the Morticians Club and all.
I kind of want to see an episode with the Morticians Club and Mrs. Johnson together. That'd
Yeah,
be
I was
interesting.
surprised. I was surprised. I'm like, wait, she's back! Yay! Wait, it's been so long. What happened to Mrs. Johnson?
I know, right?
Yeah, and apparently she does yoga. I remember the last time we talked about this. It was her mom that talked about yoga.
Oh yeah, yeah, I do remember. It was from that mediocre episode from season 4.
That's right. I remember. Yeah, it was something about ditching. What's that? Parent teacher conference or something.
Something about ditching the parent teacher conference. Yeah. Oh, and also Rusty was a master of disguise in that episode because apparently she
Mm,
pulled off Agnes Johnson quite well.
he did. I mean, they did. He did fool a lot of people with that disguise. Another person that I also want to bring up that I've never seen in season since season 2, or even in the comics, for example. Wow, we finally get to see Lindsay Sweetwater.
Yes,
Oh my
full
god! Oh my
fledged,
god, it's her! Holy crap! The one rival that Lola hates.
full fledged Lindsay Sweetwater. Well, like full fledged, like because in Tadler's Tale we only see her eyes and that's it. But here we see everything like about Lindsay Sweetwater from the top of her head to the bottom of her feet.
Remember, we also see her fool me twice. Remember that one episode where we get to see like Lola
Oh
give up
yeah,
the crown?
I remember now. I remember, but she didn't have a speaking role there. She only had a speaking role. This is an episode in which she has a full on physical appearance and she has dialogue.
No, she finally talks out of all of this. And the last time I saw her talk would be the comic book, because I remember there was a comic where Lindsay Sweetwater was like rivaling with Lola or something in a pageant.
No, but I'm talking about full on TV episodes in which Lindsay Sweetwater has a physical appearance and dialogue. But sure, I would count the comics as well.
Yeah, and then the other person too. You saw Claudette. There she is again from that one episode, Gone and Out. So to be fair, you get to see the whole pageant girls now become a thing in Lola's like inner circle. So it tells me like we're gonna see pop-ups of like all the other pageant girls that Lola was talking about, from Claudette. What was it? The other girls from Gown and Out, maybe some more girls also come in as well. I mean, even Cricket. We even saw Cricket in this season as well.
And
So
also, even though she is not a pageant queen or anything like that, I want to see Millie become part of the circle as
oh
well.
my god, please. We always just see her as a backup character, like seriously a secondary character. That episode was great, by the way. What happened to Millie Ramos?
Apparently, she's been hanging out with Darcy
Like maybe in that one Save Royal Woods episode.
in that one Save Boy Woods episode.
Yeah, I still like the reference here because it just tells me like, okay, the Loud House writers are still doing what they're saying. I mean, we talked back last week about Bertram coming back to the Loud House, and now we get to see these characters come back too. It's like, okay, you're doing your homework. Good job, Loud House writers. You're finally doing your homework. You actually have continuity again. So yay!
Yes, bravo.
uh, but yeah, I mean, this definitely surprised me with all these random characters popping up, and I'm like, oh my god! As a Loud House fan, I'm like, okay, thank God they're back.
Yes,
At
yes.
least
I'm
for
gonna
like
see
an
more of them
appearance.
too.
If anything, can we at least have another pageant, like a pageant competition? Maybe something more Down and Out 2, where we get to see like more of Claudette and China and Lola trying to compete for a pageant crown, something like that. It'd be great if we end up actually having like a huge competition between the pageant girls.
Yeah, honestly, that'd be quite good. That'd be quite good.
And yeah, I got nothing else to say, but there's a lot of things that were surprising when it comes to Crown and Dirty.
Oh yeah, you let it all out, man. You let it all out.
That's a lot of good stuff. All right, that's all I have for now. Let's go straight to our ratings. So, Mead, how would you rate Crown and Dirty?
I would honestly rate Crown and Dirty a 7.5 out of 10. Not really one of the best Lola episodes, but from what I've seen here, of course, the lesson is really important about how. Actually, no, I would probably say an 8 out of 10 just by Mrs. Bernardo managed to make it an extra 0.5. But going back to this, Lola Loud does manage to once again try to win the pageantry competition by getting a much better mom. But then at the end, she learns that it's really not the same if your real mom isn't there to pretty much perform with you. And even though they didn't win, I like the fact that how Lola and Rita still had fun together. So that was really awesome. Of course, Lola's antics to pretty much trying to sabotage the mom and daughter, pageantry. Like, yeah, that's definitely Lola-like stuff. And also, can we talk about Leni and, saying how her gifting is her brand?
Yeah, that's pretty much her, though. I got nothing much to say for this. I thought this was a good Lola episode, not the best to say. I mean, yeah, you kind of schemed your mom. I kind of feel like we saw a lot of evil Lola in this episode. But that makes her character to say. I mean, she tried her best to like get Rita out of the pageantry. She tried to also replace her with Mrs. Bernardo, but in the end, she did have a change of heart and actually brought back Rita, which I thought was like kind of a fast way to do it. I mean, like forgiveness is one thing, but I felt it was kind of fast, like what you said, Omi, that Rita forgave her like that. And in the end, the pageant ended up becoming something fun for them, not for a competition, which was supposed to be the point of the whole story anyway. I did love the random appearances from certain characters, like Mrs. Johnson, by the way, that came back. I miss Mrs. Johnson. I'm like, who are you teaching now? Because I know the other Louds are gone. Lincoln is gone. So who are you teaching now? I know that you just made a random appearance in elementary school during that one episode, School of Shock, but everything else, I'm like, where's Mrs. Johnson been? I mean, yeah, she's actually was able to be seen again. Then we also get to see the physical appearance of Missy Sweetwater, and of course we get to see Claudette. So it just tells me like, okay, are we really going to see more pageant girls? Because I feel like down the line there could be an episode where we get to see Lola and the pageant girls come back again. They're gonna fight for like a crown or something, and then they advance to like the nationals or something like that.
Yeah.
I think that's gonna be something down the line. Anyways, not bad of an episode, a good Lola episode, especially if it's a Lola Rita episode, mother-daughter time. I give this an 8 out of 10 as well. Not, I would say good to say, but could have been better.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. Like I said before, it was originally a 7.5 out of 10, but Ms. Bernardo managed to boost it out just a little bit.
I have to say this though. I mean, Mrs. Bernardo definitely is becoming like one of my favorite secondary characters now. Just wait. Maybe there's going to be another Mrs. Bernardo episode that's going to make me like love her even more.
I want to see a Mrs. Bernardo focused episode. I kind of want to see her in the spotlight.
I'm waiting, by the way, for a Lindsay Sweetwater Lola episode. I want to see if they can like become friends or or rival. Are they really rivals that they start like bickering each other and everything?
Or maybe it's going to be a case.
We finally see a physical appearance of Lindsay Sweetwater at least, so that's good.
maybe it's going to be a case of they're going to bond together in an episode. At the end, they're going to become not really friends, not really enemies either, but rather frenemies.
Yeah, I mean that would be great actually if they became frenemies to say. Yeah, but it's like I said, there's just a lot to bring up. Still, we have a lot more Loud House episodes to talk about since there's going to be brand new episodes still premiering. So again, we'll continue to come back next Wednesday to talk to you guys more about the new episodes. All right, so that's it for our episode reviews for tonight. Remember that you can listen to our Loud Castle Talks podcast on all podcast providers from Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, Anchor, wherever you listen to podcasts. Our Loudcast Talks podcast will be available for you there. Also, if you are watching our YouTube channel, please hit that red button to subscribe and also hit the bell to be notified when we'll be on. And if you're watching on Twitch, we always live stream every Wednesday. So come back here every Wednesday at 8 p.m. to watch us do the recording live. And if you're going to be watching on YouTube, it's always going to be happening the next day at 5 o'clock p.m. Pacific time, 8 p.m. Eastern. So if anything, please also check out our Twitch channel so you can also check out what our next streams are going to be. All right. Well, I hate to be the downer of the next one that we're going to be talking about next Wednesday, but we're having a series finale of the Casa Grande's episode reviews. That is correct. The series finale of the Casa Grande's episode reviews is happening next Wednesday. You might want to put your date there and make sure you come back here on Twitch at the right time or on YouTube at the right time, because we're going to review the final 4 episodes of the Casa Grandes. The Odd Father, Long Shot, Flock This Way, Movers and Fakers. It's finally happening. Next Wednesday is the series finale of the Casa Grandes episode reviews.
I can't believe you had to say series finale, man. Yo, my heart feels heavy, man. My heart feels so heavy.
It's hard. It hurts when I actually say it too. It's like, dude, the end of the road is here. I'm like,
well, I can't believe it, man. Why do they have to end it so early? Like, this is why.
So
I'm still not over it. I'll never be over it, man.
I don't know what's gonna happen next. I know the Casa Grandes are gonna be going back to the Loud House, which means more Loud House Casa Grandes episode in the Loud House. Still, no more Casa Grandes episodes after this review. So, like I said, a series finale. This is gonna be a series finale, and it's gonna be happening next Wednesday on the 5th of October. So, just be prepared for this one.
Everything hurts, man. Everything hurts. Just by the fact that, and keep in mind, we're allowed Casa Talks, okay? I'm just like, after next week's episode, we might as well switch to Loud House Talks.
I feel like it's going to be the case now. It's like Loud House Talks now. Oh, it doesn't feel the same way like Loud Casa.
It doesn't feel the same. It doesn't.
Unless like there's a lot of Casa Grandes episodes in the Loud House. That means that maybe we could put some Casa Grandes in there. I don't know how season 7 is going to run, but yeah, this is going to be our series finale for the Casa Grandes. So yeah, come back here next Wednesday on Twitch or next Thursday on YouTube and see us review these final 4 episodes.
I'm going to miss this familia. I really am.
All right. And without further ado, that's pretty much it for our Loud House episode reviews tonight. Thank you all for watching on Twitch. And for those who are watching on YouTube, thank you all for watching there as well. My name is Nate.
And this is Omid saying thank you all so much for watching. Thank you all so much for listening. And of course, stay tuned next week when we're going to be talking about the last episodes of the Casa Grandes. We're all going to miss this familia so much. And until next time, smell you later, loud crowd.